Let's go, man. Turtle finally playing like I thought he'd be playing early. That's nice. 3 games in. Boom. Just broke on it. The awareness is off the chain right now. Man. Oh, yeah. I don't think I'll make it in on this. Alright. Alright, we're going to second quarter of the game. We're going 4 wide receiver set, but that doesn't mean they're passing it, but could be. I believe I screwed up. This one's probably going to be a pass. It seems to be passing it. Probably going to be running. Let's say that. There's nowhere for him to go. Taekwon 91. Little swim move. It's probably faster than the quarterback, speed wise. I really want to see if I can get what's his name up him, but it don't seem like it. And I hit X like it's not gonna get off. If you double tap that X, trying to press it real quick, just press it, make sure it goes through. It'll fuck you over. This play action is probably gonna get ruined. And he's holding him, I believe. Alright, here's my chance to get him. Looking for R1 on this play. Pass wasn't good enough. He's going to be able to separate with that 99 speed. Especially against the third cornerback if they're just using that. Only got him as a 71. It's kind of crazy to me. Should have linebacker some love from South Carolina. Or he put some kind of 3,000 career receiving yards. He'll leave after this year. A beautiful pass. See if I can get a touchdown for this guy. Oh my God, are you serious? I probably missed somebody too, didn't I? More than likely. They standing in front. That's pretty good defense. Let me look at that. There's no way. I see. I should have went to a running play and then went to a passing play. I don't know. Yeah, at that moment right there, he's open enough because you zipped it in. Was that number 89? I was looking for 80, but 89 was covered. This guy broke too. God dang. Oh yeah. Yay. This might be a successful run. I gotta be careful here. Dang, that's risky. Why would they do that? That's a terrible play call. I'm doing nothing but blitz, and that's what I'm hoping they do is a play call. Some kind of pass right there. No room to run. Mm. Anyway, damn, I should have put that dude on the cloud number. Yeah, sounds good. Dude, I hit the wrong fucking button. It was supposed to go outside. What was that? Did you get hit? Hold on, man. No way. What the fuck? I was supposed to go to the line, but to the tight end. He was actually cutting. No way. Holy shit. I have to look at that play again. 'Cause he was about to make his cut and I was making a throw. What the fuck, dude? They're gonna score some bullshit. Oh my god. I was thinking of my throw it over my head. I didn't want to get the deep pass. That was bad. He was about to cut and everything. Mm, not bad. There's no way he runs this right. Kinda could though. Yes. So 18, right? Yeah, I gotta see. It's fucking X. it up. Damn. Damn. Wow, disrupting shit. Damn. I was trying to do a juke, and then I had to put my finger back on the X. I don't like that fucking dumb shit. Fucking camera like that. Who's that on? Not our fucking dude. Wow, who was that? Who was that on? Who was that on? I'm not sure who the fuck it was on. On the fullback? That is not the fucking play I picked, guys. I don't think this is gonna be successful. Yeah, this fuck me. You mean to tell me I can't call it audible? I can't call a goddamn audible in a TC fucking U? Holy balls. Why is this fucking there? Yeah, I'm trying it. Fuck them. They trying to fuck me over. Is that bacon? Go. Way to hang in there. Way to block for one. They needed up. It's time to bust like a 30 yards goddamn. Cut on this. I should have stuck a spawn, I guess. How am I not double teaming that dude? That's fucking genius. I didn't know I had that. Wait, why is he doing that? Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know I could do that. Somebody's fucking with that. Oh, come on. Motherfucker, are you kidding me? Fucking do it again, man. I practically pushing two of my goddamn men. That is crazy. And they're both higher ratings than him. Fucking A. Why did he slow down right there? Wow. Okay, whatever. I give a fuck. You gotta be kidding me, man. That's crazy. Damn, 32. He could have really used you right there to turn around on that ball. Just can't believe you're outrunning them when they're not faster than them. Kansas State struggling. I think they're gonna win that game somehow. Really? Damn, back got out of there. That'd been crazy. Mm. Damn, where'd he get bumped off the fucking line, dude? Alright, here's my chance. Oh, yeah. Finally, a good lofty fucking pass with some speed on it. He ain't catching him. TCU slow. He got anybody. Oh, motherfucker, dude. Quarterback's got 79 speed, slow shit. All the defensive linemen are faster than him. Running back, 91 overall, only 90 speed. Linebackers, all of them faster than him. 93, every single player is faster than him. Faster than them. None of their wide receivers are faster than my corners. Not even fucking 96, 90, 96, 99, 95. Sarah, 92, my fourth. Which I don't know what the fuck he's ahead of the dude. faster. Even the safeties are faster. 92. There you go. One tick. Insane. Then they got any yardage. I'm sure they're rated better. 5-star recruit, 4-star recruit. There he is, finally. See how fast that motherfucker is? No. Hey, could not get in front of him right there. I was trying. Come on, Turtle. I got some tired players. They knock it down. Yes. Damn. Good knockdown. That's Malloy. He's pretty good. He's a high. He might be a 5-star recruit, actually. He ain't running this shit. Tackle. Gang tackles. Previous game had 3 touchdowns, 350. He's got 87 in this one. Locked in. Who is this motherfucker? Always a tired bitch on our team, man. Don't get burnt. Don't get burnt. Oh, shit. Everybody was covered. Basley. Call him Blazely. The second one on the day. Fucking go. Return. Return. Oh my god. Look, about to go to runner. Okay. That's good sports. And Tom Bronson, good them talk a little our podcast today. It's pretty cool. Oh, the backups are getting. Mm. That didn't hit. They didn't hit. Oh my God. Shit, that shit went by fast, bro. What the fudge? What the fuck was that? You ain't gonna like that. Did they put the starters back in for that? No. Let's see here. That's a funny joke.
Yeah, it's dude, he's just so past his time. It's crazy.
Yeah,
But
but
you're right. The NFLPA is not going to help right now. They can't help themselves.
excuse me, Patrick. Congrats, about to be a dad.
Dude, there's a lot of people about to become fathers on here. The advice, like I said last time, just get through that first year, man. Just survive that first year. Every time something gets easier, something else is going to get harder, but you get conditioned to it. You get conditioned to it, you get better at it. And be there to support the mother. Remember, the best advice I got was from my friend John Elway. It's like no matter how bad or how hard it is, remember
Damn.
it's twice as hard for the mom. Keep that in perspective. And I think that helps.
Also,
Also, alcohol. Weed.
if it gets you through, James, anytime they're playing on
NCC
first down,
scored 21. Again,
You know,
backups are
this is
backups
a
for a
big
reason.
scam, right? But I think,
you're keeping the industry alive.
yeah, I think new parents, new fathers, like
Try to get a little bit more.
Didn't you people getting hurt again, Perna? I love how Brandon's like going in the Rolodex of his videos. He's like,
you're gonna have to
I
be
don't
more.
even know what I put out recently.
You're gonna have to be more specific. I don't remember. I don't know what you're talking about, honestly.
You want to talk about the Broncos for a minute?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Fun.
But yeah, Carson Wentz, new backup QB for
Yeah, I think that's actually solid for
it's gonna
Minnesota.
be Sam Howell.
Yeah, Sam didn't feel like a fit there. It was a little odd to me that nobody brought in Carson Wentz to be, your veteran backup.
Old starter.
Yeah, your leading passer again for the Colts. He would be going back to Indy, right? He was there. God, they've been through a lot of quarterbacks lately in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
I didn't have to throw the ball hardly
I
any
think
at the
that's solid
beginning. He just
for
ran it.
the Vikings. I think you want a veteran, in case something does happen to JJ.
Which
But
makes sense.
Backup could have got some damn
they had a
picks.
really nice preseason. Number one offense, number one defense overall, which is really important in the preseason. Really, it's like the first thing that signals that your team's going to win the Super Bowl. Um, but Jarrett Stidham has played so well this preseason that
Has he?
I think I think a team should call and see if the Broncos are willing to trade him. Like he's been that good. He's been that good. I don't want him to leave because like if something happens in those
Didn't
weeks,
get
like
that one.
feeling very confident that you're the backup, he's got to keep the team afloat for a couple weeks. But they just played the Saints, and I'm not sure the Saints really know what's going on with their quarterbacks yet. I think a team like the Saints that doesn't even have like a veteran QB in their locker room, like Jarrett Stidham, would be a nice addition to New Orleans. I would I would make some calls. You
Damn, he
really
just
want to
take
get
him
some
over in
backup
rating.
quarterback for Stidham. Like I think he was that good. And Sam Ellinger, he's made some nice plays for the Broncos.
Well, fuck it
So
then.
like you're better with Stidham, but like Ellinger, an interesting name there. We'll see if anything happens because this is the window where teams are making calls to see if like a guy's available
Yep.
before he goes to waivers, right? If a guy's waived, then each team in whatever order they're slated,
Yep.
they get to make a claim on that player or not. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, because that's also a thing too. What Kurt is talking about is like even when these guys get waived, like they have to clear waivers for them to be like full free agents, right? That anybody can go and get them. So.
Yeah. And a lot of guys go onto waivers with the team that put them there, letting them know, like, if you clear, we want to bring you back.
Squad.
It's still a decision for them to make, but, like, a lot of teams kind of hope their guy makes it through. And you try, it's a balancing act of playing the game of, like, which guy can we let go who we think we can get back, and which
I'm gonna
guy
try to catch a couple
not let
balls in
go
this game.
because somebody else is going to claim him. So,
Ooh, that's a better season. Mayfield or Love. Dude, Mayfield was phenomenal last year. Like, if their receivers stay healthy, it could be Baker. There's some question marks in the Packers right now, so especially health wise. But
yeah, statistically, Baker might have a better year. Baker's always going to, well, Jordan Love, like his interception
Okay,
was a little higher last year, right? But
that
Baker's always going to
changed.
throw some picks, though, too. That's always going to be part of his game. looked bad, and then they said it wasn't serious, but McMillan's going to miss probably like half the season with his neck injury. So
Why would it change?
Luka draft pick looks really smart right now, and I think Bucky Irving's going to have a nice season for Tampa. But that is like just put Baker, Jordan Love, and Bo Nix right there. Like
Kind
I
of
don't
fucked
know
me
who's going
up.
to stand out the most of those three statistically. Dude, Bo Nix and Jordan Love are like identical in a lot of stat numbers, and their projections
I don't know if I could boost it up, do something.
also very close.
You know what stat doesn't cover? Heart. Jordan Love got
84.
it's in his name. So,
Yeah, but
here we go.
Bo Nix has been blessed by God, so God bless Bo Nix for
That's
the
true.
heart of Jordan Love.
That's true. But is it a reverse curse because of the Christian worship song that he made?
No, no more curses for my team. We're above the curses.
I got my. Hold on, you were talking about on Wednesday. Talking about Bailey, and then he got traded. You're like, I don't think and then
I was like, they shouldn't trade this guy. Like, why is everybody talking?
Why would we do this? Literally later that day, he
Yeah.
goes to the Saints, and a bunch of people from the Saints are like, why are they giving up draft picks right now? So like, you have to, as a Broncos fan, I know you were talking about Bailey in a really positive way on Wednesday, but to get a fourth round pick, I mean,
yeah, well, that's what like I think in the video I made, I was like, I said on GPS I did not want to
Damn.
trade Von Bailey. It's like, but what I didn't know is that they would be able to get a fourth round draft pick for him. It's tricky because Denver still doesn't have a skill position player that is a star, right? Like Cortland Sutton is our best skill position player at the moment, and he is very solid. He is such a solid receiver, but nobody's like Cortland Sutton, top 5 receiver, right? I don't think Bailey was going to be one of those guys, but Bailey was a guy last year who third down, he converted a ton of first downs on third down. So that's always a nice thing with the receiver. He caught the fucking ball when it came his way. You know that's important, right, Tom?
a little bit.
You like a guy who catches balls?
Bitch.
Yeah. He is older though, and he's 6'5", so he's kind of built kind of like Cortland Sutton. But I think a lot of Broncos fans were just excited to see how he developed in year 2, heading into this system. Felt like he was the second most important receiver sometimes on the field for the Broncos. So, but he had a knee cleanup surgery, hadn't been able to play much, and then boom, trade him to the Saints, who I actually think really need on their roster for what he brings to the table, size and his skill set. So I know like some Saints fans like that's kind of a lot to give up, but I think it's a good piece. And the one like underrated thing I think Devon Bailey brings to the Saints offense is he played with a rookie quarterback last year. And so like when you do that, you kind of know how to help out a young quarterback when you're on the field, and I think that will hopefully translate over for Tyler Shuck. And I think it's a really solid pickup for the Saints. And I hope Devon Bailey continues to develop. But it's Pat Bryant, Troy Franklin, they had really good training camps in preseason, and
All potential.
yeah, and you've already got Marvin Mims kind of slated in there as well, so they have depth there, I guess.
Teams taking unexpected drop. I don't think it's to be significant. Like the Commanders have really high expectations. Like that might just be a little bit tougher in year 2. And we'll
Chiefs missed the playoffs. A lot of people are saying.
Brandon might be saying that.
The Vikings could be out of the playoffs.
That's on JJ.
Yeah, Vikings and Commanders have a lot to try and live up to.
But yeah, I mean the Vikings also had 14 wins last. You know what I mean? Like they were insane. I think very much overshot what that was expected of them. Just by a bit. Exceeded a few expectations.
With the Vikings, like J.J. McCarthy can be good, and you can lose a handful more of games. Like
sure.
Both those things can be true. Don't you dare, Wario.
By the way, the Packers made a trade yesterday for an offensive lineman. Darian Kennard for a, not next year, but a 2027 sixth round pick they gave up. He's only started about 3 games, but he has won the Super Bowl 3 times in a row. Because he won it with the Chiefs and then won it with the Eagles.
That's crazy.
People are going to say 4 in a row.
He's the lucky charm.
That's what people are saying. That's what people are saying.
I love that.
So, yeah, Huntley got waived, so
That makes sense.
Pro Bowler.
Yeah, don't forget. Don't forget.
The Shadur Sanders discourse, like, I was not online a whole lot the last few days, and after that, it was like, oh, okay, this discourse has gone even further off the rails than
Yeah, I love it.
It's
It
kind
is
of like, all right,
so-
it's gonna be a disaster.
It's so insane. It's so unfair to even the Browns, and I never thought I'd say that. Twins?
Ooh, Twins, Dylan? Congrats on the Twins.
Twins?
Like that
No,
Steve
I don't
Parks
have
impression.
that. Let me put it this way. Jeff wanted twins. We did not have twins. And we were both thankful we did not have twins.
I don't think that's something.
Is that good advice, Dylan?
I don't think that was advice.
Buckle up, Dylan. It's gonna be twice as hard, and I don't know how to prepare you for that. Also, one of them will be evil, so you got to figure that out right away. Like
It's like that Macaulay Culkin movie.
the good son.
The Good Son.
They weren't twins though. They weren't twins, but
That's right.
there's
Did he
a
get thrown off a cliff at the end? I have like vague.
No, the motherfucker drops Macaulay Culkin off. She has to choose between him and he's her real son or Elijah Wood. But she knows her son's fucking evil, so she lets Macaulay Culkin just go.
She's like, now you're home alone. And
Yeah.
right off the cliff.
Yeah.
Dylan, best of luck. Amari and Hampton.
I don't know. It's Najee's coming back. Apparently his eyes okay. So use the Chargers, man. Like I feel like they're gonna be fine, but they probably won't use Amari Hampton enough. Underrated fantasy wide receiver.
Matthew Golden.
Cortland Sutton.
Cortland Sutton is just underrated. I mean, he's pretty damn good. Matthew Golden, Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, he's looking nice. He had a great catch.
Oh yeah, he did. Dude, it was so nice to be back in Lambeau. It's again my one time a year where I get to go to a preseason game. I get to go to Lambeau. But this is the first one as a Wisconsin resident. So
Yeah, interesting.
you know who I met? I met Michael Robinson's parents. The guy that was draft pick I announced. That was a really cool.
Oh, that's cool.
That was super cool. So yeah, he's battling. We'll see kind of if he's gonna wind up making the roster, or maybe like he goes through things and gets picked up in the B squad. But like, that's the it's always like a weird day and a weird couple of days because like that's the other side of it. If you have guys who got drafted, you know, whether they're later round guys, Nathan. If you got drafted in the 6th round and it's already in a position where there's a lot of depth, like you know, you're already kind of battling against it. So we're gonna see. Cut down days are tough.
Yeah.
Cuticles on top? You don't. That's right. Fair enough. Well, listen, talking about the Cleveland Browns, I mean, you know, Joe Flacco is gonna be the guy. Shadur.
He had a rough day. Shadur had a rough day.
Got a lot of sacks. So
Yeah, he got sacked a bunch. He held on to the ball too long. The offensive line was also bad. They cut 4 of those 5 guys that were blocking for him. People pretend like that's some crazy thing. It's not, because most of the guys playing that late in the game are fringe players at best. Kevin Stefanski is trying to sabotage him, according to the best conspiracy theories. Yes, Kevin Stefanski, who...
not to be confused with Coach of the Year Steven Stefanski.
Yeah, not to be confused there. Yeah, it was Shadur's too much. Was ready to coach up Deshaun Watson, but Shadur's too much for him, so he's going to sabotage him. Lost in this is Dylan Gabriel's actually looked pretty good the last 2 games. He had that 1 pick 6, but like Gabriel gets rid of the ball, he climbs the pocket. And my takeaway from the whole Cleveland Browns shit show is their depth chart was correct the whole time, Tom. The whole time, it wasn't just let's make Shadur earn his way up. Joe Flacco Flacco's clearly the best quarterback. We all know that. He's going to start. We knew that. Kenny Pickett didn't play at all. He's still number 2. Then you got Dillon and you got Shador, and those guys got a lot to learn to make their way up. So,
Yeah.
Oh, distinction's good for your franchise.
Is it?
Yeah.
Zach, hey, enjoy that Steelers-Packers Sunday football game. That'll be great. JJ, we were actually talking about JJ McCarthy when we were up at Green Bay, too, because he is a bit of a wild card, right? You just don't really know what you have. So I think at the bare minimum, you're going to have some growing pains. You know, we're going to use it, we talking about, even if he's like an above-average quarterback for his rookie year. And again, I do think the Vikings have an insane, like, roster right now. Like, they have a really good support cast. They have a decent run game.
Yeah.
You know, obviously have receivers. The O-line, they built up the trenches, both in free agency and also in the draft. So I think that they're in a really good position. Brian Flores has made that defense better. It's just a matter of can he operate that offense. And I truly do not know. So like I had the Vikings when I put them, I had them. They could be like a 7-10 team. They can win 11 games. You know, it just is a matter of how JJ is. So I think we'll get like a decent idea within the first few weeks. But that Monday night game, dude. That first Monday night game, it's Caleb Williams versus JJ McCarthy. The vitriol that's going to be spit out. Oh, it's going to be as a Packers fan, it's going to be great.
They're both going to look like shit, and it's going to be hilarious.
Oh man, that would be a great day. Be a great day.
Sorry, football analysis. Week 1, Caleb and JJ both look terrible.
3 interceptions each. I would lean Trevor Lawrence just because even just the experience that's there, and also like Trevor's got a.
If Trevor Lawrence doesn't have a good season, he's dead.
It's bad. It's not good. Cam, like I said, I am not going to judge Cam Ward for a bit, especially going week 1 against that Broncos defense. If he looks good against the Broncos defense, again, it is still week 1, but yeah, that'll give me a lot of confidence.
Dude, Denver's favored by 7.5 points right now over Tennessee. It's like the biggest point spread for week 1. And part of me loves that, but then you're like, oh no, that's a curse. That's definitely a curse. Do not do that. Every week 1 game, they should all just be 3.5. Just 3.5. Don't put that devil magic on any team to blow out their opponent, because outside of like just assuming one team's going to be better than the other, week 1 is the extension of the preseason too, right? Like a good team, if they're going to drop an uncharacteristic game, week 1 is a week that shit happens.
Bengals Patriots.
Yeah, don't put that on me. Don't put that on me. NFL.
Yeah, dude, I'll be setting the stuff up this week, and then we'll do drafts either at the end of this week or the beginning of next week. So, because then rosters get finalized. So I never like doing drafts usually during the preseason. Guys get cut, guys get hurt.
Yeah, you gotta wait.
So it's weird. So, anyway, in terms of what was the other one? Oh yeah, the Raiders looking for a veteran quarterback. You hear that, Falcons? Maybe someone will take Kirk Cousins. Won't be the Raiders. But yeah, AOC, he's out with wrist injury, so he's gonna be out for.
They need a backup. They had a backup.
I don't need one.
We'll give you Jarrett Stidham for Ashton Genty, Las Vegas. Take it or leave it.
I think you're gonna leave it. Personally, I think. Most egregious penalty, missed call or phantom call.
Every week, the Chiefs' offensive line blocking. False starting, they're going to be allowed to do it. Getting off the line early, illegal formation, allowed to do it. And illegally blocking, allowed to do it. We already saw it happen, so.
I'm gonna say, you know, they're talking about sportsmanship, right? Like it's a big focus for the NFL refs this season.
No more of this. No more wiping your nose.
Nope. So I think it might be an overly harsh call, maybe. Right? Maybe a little unsportsmanlike conduct, sets them back 15 yards, changes the outcome of the game.
If I were a player, I would make.
I mean, this motherfucker has 6 goddamn touchdowns.
Egregious and elaborate that the NFL couldn't even understand what I was doing, therefore they couldn't flag it. I say you stab your opponent in the heart. So you score, you do this. They don't know what that that means, but in your mind, you're stabbing the guy in the heart. Then you rip open his chest cavity, take out his heart, and eat it, and then you throw it up for your teammates to devour as well. It's a cannibalism celebration,
Yeah.
but there's so much to it, the NFL doesn't know what you're doing. So can't shoot at the crowd, right? Can't wipe the nose. But rip a dude's heart out, they might not know what you're doing.
So, alright, are you doing the stab and then the pull down so you can get into the chest cavity?
Twist, rip open pieces of bread, take a bite.
Alright, well now this gets more complicated because when you're twisting, that doesn't mean you get your hand. Do you know how difficult it is to rip open a chest cavity? I mean, I don't, but I have to imagine it's harder than the pull down. So I feel like either you're pulling down or you're doing like the Indiana
like
Jones.
this. I don't like English shit. They're just making us move to the same exact goddamn fucking place. That's the whole point of me, like, not going to another one. Another point of the thing. That's crazy.
They won't know what that is. I was gonna say,
What the hell are y'all talking about?
years in the NFL,
I'm just gonna say, Brandon, you doing, and I quote, this is what you did, and then I don't know if they're gonna think that's a wood chipper. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. They might flag you. It's not because you're like, no. It was just a body. I was
dismembering a body. I was not.
These are two top teams right here.
Yes, Sky Moore. First of all, I see you, Chiefs. Finally returns a punt. You're like, great. Now we have any kind of trade value. Let's trade him. I mean, it makes sense for the 49ers because, I mean, they have some injuries, right, at receiver, so we want to make sure that's there. Brian Robinson, I mean, again, we talk about the Commanders believing in their latest draft pick at running back, but in terms of, I don't know, like if CMC's healthy, like Brian Robinson seems like a good move. It's probably going to be a short-term rental unless they get easier or give a new contract. No.
But Niners better pray that Christian McCaffrey is fully healthy and good to go. They need McCaffrey to be really good early in this season so they can get through the litany of injuries they have at the receiver position. I think Robinson's that's a solid addition to come in and spell McCaffrey. I think most running backs have a very good chance to succeed in that system. So I think it's upside for Brian Robinson and a necessity for the 49ers.
But I mean, the 49ers are a very interesting team. On paper, again, take this with a grain of salt. Their schedule doesn't look too terrible, but like they're coming off a down year. Obviously, they got rid of a bunch of veterans. And I think a lot of it's just going to stem on how healthy they are. They're kind of, I can see them doing pretty well this season based on because they still have some good players.
Yeah,
NFL's pretty much back.
We got breaking news, Tom. Breaking news. Commanders receiver Terry McLaurin. They have agreed to a 3-year extension worth over $96 million.
How did he drop that? Like, it was open and.
There you go. Bam. I mean, it's about damn time. Like,
they did it, though.
They did it.
Yeah.
They done that. He had 3-year, $96 million. Good for him,
Let's
man.
go.
I mean, this was out of all, because we're talking about the big three, right? So it's like Micah Parsons, Terry McLaurin, and then also Trey Hendrickson. So Terry was probably 2 on the list of, like, I don't think that he's going to go, because that would make absolutely no sense. So this was the smart move, Commanders. I mean, he had a great connection with Jane Daniels last year, had double-digit touchdowns.
Really good.
Yeah, I need to get paid.
Agree. 96 million.
Obviously, contracts are always weird how they structure them, but he wanted $30 million a year. He gets $30 million a year. That is nice.
I don't see the guaranteed money, but yeah.
I thought if they decided to possibly trade him, maybe they could get a haul, but like, this just needed to be done. A smart front office would do this.
Would have done this a year ago.
So, I mean, again, in terms of if making trades for pieces now, right? So here is by far
By far.
like Gary Terry. They showed already, like you had the proof last year. Like obviously, there's some really good chemistry between the two. He had a great season. This makes all the sense in the world if you're actually trying to compete for a title while you have.
We'll see if anybody's got his guarantees yet.
It's gotta be almost all of it. Like 25 a year.
That's something.
At least 75 million. I don't like it. Here,
No reports on the guarantees yet, but
Packers won't get DTR, no, because Broncos I think get him unless they want to trade him for anything. But yeah, no, Malik Willis is going to be QB2, pretty solid in the Packers Seahawks preseason game. And it looks like Clifford's going to probably have to leave, but
no, I don't think the
come on,
Broncos
D.
are going to move Stidham. I'm just saying, like, his value is very high right now. He's played really well. He's a solid backup to have. But...
Dang, I can't beat this motherfucker.
I don't know if I'm going to see it relatively soon.
Oh, this is crazy. Oh my god, what was that? Oh, just put Teague and starting lineup.
I mean, again, Michael, we were talking about this. If Luka coming out of college, like, it was like, okay, he could be that guy. And it was also with McMillan being injured, as Curtis said, that makes it a little even better. But the problem also is that Godwin and Evans usually get banged up, right? Godwin's coming off of an injury, Evans is a bit older. So these guys are still really good.
It's got, I want to see that play, man. Oh, I didn't even show me that. Fuck off.
Yeah, no, just gotta leave that deal. Get him for Genti. I know it sounded.
Come on, Guillermo, give it to me, buddy. Give me Ashton Genti.
Yeah, it's worth up to $9 million. I don't see.
They could hit right there.
Yeah, it's just worth up to. So I'm curious, like, what the actual guarantees are. So
either way, he's gonna get. He looks like he's getting what he wants. So
I'd imagine, he's gonna average around $30 million a year. We'll see. We'll see the guarantee.
That's what I'm talking about.
So right there.
Fatality celebrations. Get over here.
He's waving.
Feel like Hangman Swerve discussed the spot. It's true. I mean, listen. Forbidden Door was yesterday.
Oh my god.
MJF,
Why are these three not on that over there? Like,
people jumping off cages. Next main event. Osprey.
you waited for that fucking wide receiver to come all the way in?
Hey, all right.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, they think Terry. I mean, again, the Commanders. I was asked to.
Like, he would have hit him right there. Boom, hit the tight end.
Folks asking about like Mike Parsons and Trey Hendrickson.
I don't know.
I still am even with everything Jerry Jones is saying, I am still of the opinion. Dallas Cowboys, if they trade.
That's a quarterback slide up, son. They get so many ridiculous fucking catches there. Like, nigga just weighs himself out. I have a guy right up on him and just fucking do a 5-yard catch. 5-yard catch.
No, Brian Robinson's already on the board.
He's with the Niners.
Yeah. So unless you beat them in the Super Bowl again and then you can escape Brian Robinson on board.
Did I catch a Niner in there?
Again, I don't think that the sense from hey, look at what we're trying to do. If they traded Scary Terry, right, like that, this whole season now is in flux, and we're already talking about them. It's tough to get back to the NFC Championship game, right? There's just some players that don't trade as quickly, what you're trying
Damn, all the way across the fucking field. I thought he was going to throw the other one.
Yeah, they can't trade him.
Let's say quarterback right
It just doesn't make sense. So, and then Hendrickson, I can see it happening, but I don't think that is going to be crazy for the Bengals.
87 senior.
And Jerry talked about the
That's
fact
good
that
enough.
like he had, according to Jerry, he had offers, crazy offers for Micah, but he doesn't want to do that. So I don't think Jerry is trying to even trade him. He's just being weird and stubborn. Stid him out here throwing bullets, making plays. Why wasn't he our starter for 4 next? We need quality backups. Either way, we need him to stay. We still need a running back. We need, yeah, all that's fair, Jerry. I'm saying, like, I would prefer Stidham to stay at this point. A backup quarterback becomes really important once your guy goes down, but also, I'm just saying, the value is super high right now. He looks really good, and he looks good enough to start. He had the highest EPA of any quarterback this preseason. So, you know, use all that, and if you can get more good picks, go for it. But, yeah, Broncos run game, I'm still concerned about that. We'll see what happens. The J.K. Dobbins is going to carry the load, but it's not like anybody really jumps out.
Damn, that was dangerous. He led him too much.
So, but we'll see.
I mean, Max, if he goes to LA, then yes. He actually goes to LA.
If the Rams are the team that land Michael Parsons with Jared Verse and that entire defensive line staying there, yes.
3-year extension for Terry, yeah. So I would assume we're going to see what it looks like, but if a 3-year extension, then yes, he should be around the contract year. So I'm just curious. Yeah, 3-year up to $96 million. I'm very curious to see like what.
Why is he in there?
Is, but
probably going to make a lot of that
So
money
fucked
this
up.
year, next year, and then that final year is probably entirely bullshit. I know NFL contracts.
that's all right.
But he's got 3 very good years left in him, in my opinion.
I think so. I think Terry McLaurin's a guy who you can slow down a little bit as a receiver, and he's still going to be one of your most reliable and trustworthy ball catchers on your roster.
Right.
So,
Not lying.
And plus, like, you know, as you're going to eventually draft wide receivers as well, it's not the worst thing to learn like Terry McLaurin, one of the best ones. Not the worst thing.
yeah.
A tactician. He's a tactician. But yeah, no, I just don't see it. And so now, with 1 down, 2 to go, Michael Parsons, Trey Hendrickson, I'd be shocked if we're not seeing a headline within the next week saying Michael Parsons highest paid defensive player.
My bold prediction: Cowboys finish last in the NFC East.
What? The Giants? The Giants gonna pull that cowboy flag.
Dude, I'm optimistic about the Giants. We'll see what happens when the regular season starts and how long they actually let Russell Wilson play. But like, if you're a Giants fan, you should be excited about this football season. And I really, just for the discourse on clickbait, I want the Giants to edge out the Cowboys and put Dallas down last.
All right, Gary Terry, a $30 million signing bonus.
There you go.
Damn. That defensive line ain't putting the. Hold on.
There you go. 30 mil per year. Here's 30 mil all at once.
Putting them at a mismatch and then getting bullied and can't get. But still, one of them not getting in there is crazy.
It was also Maya's first Packer game and Maya's first football game, so super fun. Stood out on the Packers this weekend. Anthony Belton, when they were getting into fights, there were 3 fights that broke out of the during practice. So that was something, but it's all it. Matthew Golden already had a really nice play.
What's he out there, man? Again, damn. I don't understand it. He is not supposed to be out there. Anybody the fuck else besides him?
On you per day yesterday. I'm getting more Brewers information than I have ever known before. It's not much, but I'm trying. Oh, four starts for the Giants. Yeah, 2 games. Fuck it. Put him out there.
Dude, the amount of people who took me seriously on this tweet call, it worries me. It worries me. Because we got Jameis and the three amigos there.
Oh yeah, it's cool.
I'm just like, this is a fun QB room. Look how these guys are having fun. Guess what? Russell Wilson, nowhere to be found. Yep, that makes sense. Let's trade Russ. Let's get him out of here because he's going to ruin this chemistry. He's going to harsh this vibe, okay? People are like, Russ is starting. Yeah, if you want
Gonna
this
spread a lot of slot.
Alright, guys. Okay, Twitter. Chill.
That's why I just think you need to be a GM.
I should be.
Just run off vibes. I should be.
Yeah. One,
He's not even there. Oh,
you paid attention. Nobody will tell you more than me that Jameis Winston is a terrible quarterback. And he gets a pass because people love him. He gets a pass because he's fun to watch. Tommy Cutlets, I don't want that era to ever die for the Giants. But more importantly, I actually believe Jackson Dart is ready to go. I don't think you can hurt Jackson Dart by starting him. And I think I've seen enough out of him this preseason where I'm not saying he'll come in and be great right away, but I think he can navigate the ups and downs of that first month of being a rookie in the NFL. And it's going to be hard to watch Russell Wilson, guys. He's going to look good that first week, probably that second week. Then you're gonna be like, okay, that wasn't the best game. Okay, he's holding us back.
We've seen this movie before.
I've seen it, and it's happened. This is his third team in 3 years. I've also defended Russell Wilson. I'm not wishing him
Oh shit.
bad. I just know who he is as a player. Fortunately,
and the perfect install mail.
Yeah, that too. But he gets a lot of junk mail too. 3 incredible throws every game.
Damn.
Russell Wilson's going to do that. There's going to be
There's
5
gonna be
plays
15.
that you're like, a man who's been in the NFL for as long as he has should not be doing that. And my take on Shedeur Sanders is he thinks he can escape pressure like a young Russell Wilson, but he can't. He doesn't have the athletic skill set to be that elusive. And Russ made a living by drifting backwards, snaking his way behind the line of scrimmage to then find an open guy in Shedeur Sanders. Looks like he tries to do that, but he's just not quick enough. So, anyway, I'm excited for Dart. That's the point.
I mean, I think you're also going to get to a point as Giants fans, right, where, okay, you know where the ceilings are for the guys that have been around this league for a while. So, you're going to see him start at some point. It might be a little bit later in the season, but
I think it's going to be a little sooner than we were initially
I
projecting.
think by week 8?
Oh, I think he's
6.
by like week 5. Okay. I think Dable believes in him. I think, again, I think he's, in terms of poise, he's just shown, he can go out there and do it. And, yeah, there's going to be some learning curves, but, he's looking
As long as they're competitive.
Damn, I'm about to have that too.
I think that they'll rock with what they have, and then if they get to a point where they're no longer competitive, in which, whether that's playoffs or what have you, then you're definitely going to start to get some starts as well. Yeah, Michael, I heard some really good things. I haven't had a chance to see it yet, but it is on the list. I mean, throw them right into the fire.
I started to get the Chargers. Why are you putting the Chargers?
And one of these teams doesn't look like the other. Come on.
Is it because their defense was good last year? Fair enough. Fair enough. James.
Comeback player of the year, only fumble in the playoffs will be the game loser because Vikings.
All right.
I mean,
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, like, back to I would put him out there so he knows how hard the NFL is.
Didn't you like my center?
I would make him play against the hardest fucking defense. You have to just gauge whether or not that
Well, I'll
dude's
take
ready
him
to handle
out
it, and
there.
I think Jackson Dart's ready to handle it. Shedeur Sanders not ready to handle it. No. It's not. Will they start him? I hope to God they do. Just let me be right once. Come on. Let my contrarian point just be right.
I'll be on there tonight.
Fucking let him see how good the Chiefs defense and Eagles defense is. And if he doesn't crumble, you got your dude.
But what if he does crumble? Then you can't use that as a baseline.
The flip side is Russ is gonna get his ass kicked by those defenses too. So I think it'll be easier to move on from Russ, letting him play through that gauntlet.
Well, either South Division,
Brandon
there's
Prentice is
potential, right? Like if you look at the NFC South, I think the Panthers are expected to be better. The Falcons and the Buccaneers should be contending, for that division. So you have two good teams, you would say, and then like one potentially ascending team. The Saints, I have very little hope right now.
Nobody believes in the Saints right now.
Which maybe they'll surprise. Maybe. But maybe they will. But then the AFC South
Yeah.
is bad. You have the Texans, who should be winning that division. The Jaguars are a complete wild card. Which version of the Jaguars are we going to see this season? The Colts and the Titans have rookie quarterback. So maybe in the NFC.
Can I be
Dang.
just like very honest here for a second? Can I be vulnerable? Tom?
No.
Am I channeling my Aaron Rodgers look? No, I'm not. Did I shave my beard off for Tom Grossi? Yes, I did. We did it live when Tom was streaming to raise $1 million for charity. Something happened to me after that, Tom. When this beard starts to grow back in, it's almost all white down here now. I battle the gray beard. The gray is...
I'm Gandalf the White.
Now when my beard comes back in, I'm struggling with aging, alright? So I'm just like, I'm gonna keep it short, because I look fucking younger this way. Otherwise, I look like goddamn Gandalf when that shit comes in, Tom. That's why. You wanna know the truth? That's why. And I'm not ready to dye my beard yet.
That's fair.
I'm just gonna... Let me look. You can see how white it is.
I got
This was like twice as much white after I shaved it all up.
the gray temples. That's
Yeah, I'm fine with it here, but that's the reason.
I've seen a couple of white hairs in the beard now. I mean, like, I don't know, it's not really gross.
Dude, I got pushed in the
Way
back.
to tell it's your whole chin.
That's fair. Yeah, I guess that's us.
Struggling, guys. Struggling.
Let's go on culture. Let's go. It's been super cool. I mean, obviously, like, I
Look
got
at
here,
that
and the
shit.
Brewers were already doing well, so it's easier to get into the Brewers
goddamn.
baseball because they're doing well. But
Yeah,
this
look
one,
at right here.
first game went to 14-0.
Okay, breaking.
Throw
Boom.
it to the fire and ruin him. There's just also no need to rush with it.
No fucking call, for real.
If he's going to be your guy, you think he's going to be your guy, take your time.
Wow.
Come on. Your whole chin is gray.
You be friendly, but I think it's got a lot of things that translate to what he's going to do. I'm going to trust Brian Dable to know when to put Dart in,
Okay.
but I've seen the way Brian Dable looks at him, okay? I've seen the way Dable looks at Jackson Dart. And again, I'm not saying you put Dart in and he's going to be great week one. I'm saying he can handle the bumps and bruises. And that's
Got around him.
the whole division line between starting
Got
the guy
around
and
him.
letting the guy sit.
That's perfect.
If you think he's ready, just get him out there and play. He's got Malik Neighbors to throw to. He's got Malik Neighbors to throw to. He's got Greg Dulcich, maybe. I think the defense will be all right.
The Georgia Lions.
And if he sits, it's fine. It's great. I'm just saying I think he's ready to go.
What is football going to
Wow.
look like in 50 years? I think this is
They
a good
really
question
figure
to
it
build
out.
on. What is it going to look like in...
There's the flag getting pulled, Tom. Let's just get them flags out there now, Tom. Yeah. I'll be dead, so I don't know. This sounds like 50 years?
Is it trending in a good direction?
We'll see.
I think you have an additional game. I think within 50 years you're going to have an expansion too, probably of teams. They're probably playing literally all over the world. You know, there's probably international game for a majority of teams per season.
Not
And
fucking
also,
move.
everything is brought to you by ESPN Bet.
Oh, yeah, so he's got the Heisman, did he?
I don't think so.
No?
No. That I don't think that company's gonna make it.
Oh, hey. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go,
I'm
right?
not sponsored by them, but just use my code if you go there. No matter where you go to buy something.
And also, everything is brought to you by ESPN Bet.
I don't think so.
No?
No. That I don't think that company's gonna make it.
Oh, hey. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go,
I'm
right?
not sponsored by them, but
Wow.
just use my code if you go there. No matter where you go to buy something, just put in my code. That's all I ask, guys.
Juice Box, yeah, that's what every single Bears fan is talking about, that Tyler Bajan should get the starting gig over Caleb Williams. That's all I'm hearing coming out of Chicago right now. What's that? Another news report. No, he actually is named the starter.
Yeah.
No,
I'm happy for Tyson. He earned that. You earned that $10 million extension. He's played well. But, yeah,
dude, he was talking about his dad, like, never running water. Like, it's an awesome story. But, no, you have a good backup who you know could go win you some football games, but Caleb Williams.
Tennessee beat him.
Unless things go catastrophic.
Yeah, and I think, like, one of the things I said is that I think it's going to take a bit for things to click with Caleb Williams in that offense. And I think Bears fans need to be prepared for a little bit of a roller coaster there. But once Caleb Williams gets comfortable, I think Ben Johnson having a guy as athletic as Caleb Williams is going to be a fun thing to watch, because he didn't have that with Goff. Like, Goff does so many things well, but, you know, play extension and improvisation, that's not really what he does. He's got to reel it in for Caleb. And the point I get to is, honestly, I think we should look at Caleb Williams as below a rookie quarterback status. I think expectations need to be below rookie. Because if Caleb's got to unlearn all the dumb shit Shane Waldron and Matt Eberflus tried to teach him last year.
Oh, I know.
He's got to unlearn some stuff. So, I think that's what...
For his career, I mean, he's going to have every opportunity to. I mean, because what's going on in New Jersey that he's having competition, right? So, if he has a breakout season, awesome. I don't know if he's going to be a long-term starter there. Get surprised.
I hope so, but I'm not confident. No.
Yeah, no, he's definitely going to get traded. Yeah, Parsons, again, I know the media's pushing real hard. I know Micah Parsons not happy, but I would be very
Damn,
shocked
man, why'd I wait
by
so long? Why did he cut up
we are
though
not
in the middle?
seeing, you know, it might be next Wednesday. You know, it might be Thursday, literally the morning of the game. But you're going to see highest paid defensive player in NFL history.
Do you think Micah gets paid at halftime? Do you think Jerry turns that into a spectacle?
He was
the
waiting.
halftime show is just Jerry announcing Micah's new contract?
They could. Maybe. It's like an unveiling.
Just a giant check he reveals.
It's for the cure.
Hell yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Right that year.
Right, it's 33. Oh, yeah, I'm getting a few gray eyebrows. I am seeing that. That one, I'm like,
Damn.
Those are standing out. I don't know about that one.
I'm not going to really feel old until my lower back hair turns gray.
Once the tail goes.
Yeah, once the tail's gray, that's all over. Hopefully I'm retired by then.
Broncos salute song.
Nice. From
No, golly, that's what triangle.
I have visited the DMV.
Thought he was gonna go with him, but he didn't.
Let me
That was
just
bad
worry about
pass.
front row. I did it for a preseason game for the Packers. It's just
That was just
the
a bad
TV
pass.
camera is going to be in front of you at some point. That's the
Yeah. And I have not listened to the salute song. Hope it's great.
What do you got coming out?
Invariably, it's
Got
too
our
much
final
fun.
preseason stock report coming out today.
There you go.
Yes.
I'm gonna now do a Commander Stand reaction to Scary Terry's new contract, but it'll be, just give me like a couple an hour or two, like that. We'll work on that. I'm on the Paul Farrington show later tonight, so go check that. I think it's at 7.
You're on what?
My even Paul Farrington, the Viking / Packers fan. Need a new Packers jersey. Ooh. Xavier McKinney, Josh Jacobs, Jordan Love. Hey, lots of options there.
Melton. Get a Bo Melton.
Oh, Melton.
Valentine.
Valentine.
Get COVID.
Yeah, we'll be back on Wednesday. I'm not going anywhere now. I'm going to be here until February.
You're not leaving that room.
I'm not leaving this room until February, so I've got folks, appreciate the hell out of you. We're getting closer and closer to football. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grassi. That's Brandon Prentice. This is JBS. You have been there you go.
Friday, September 5th. This isn't just a game.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be a big day.
20.
A brand new wide receiver trade target has emerged for Omar Khan and the Pittsburgh Steelers to consider as roster cuts move on the horizon here in Pittsburgh. Then we'll get into the latest Steelers injury updates on key players like Keanu Benson, Beanie Bishop Jr., Nick Herbig, and more. And then we'll get into Y.A. Black, the stud rookie that dominated the preseason for the Pittsburgh Steelers this year, and why I think he's ready to step up into a starting role as Derek Harmon, his rookie classmate here in Pittsburgh, is set to miss the beginning of the 2025 season. Before we get into the content today, guys, whenever Omar makes a move here for a wide receiver or any other player, either before or after roster cuts this year, make sure you guys are subscribed for all of our breaking news coverage. We're going to have you guys covered for every signing, every waiver claim, every trade that Omar makes over the constant governors, receiver temp. He would absolutely fit the bill here in Pittsburgh, man. He's going into his age 29 season, so he's not the youngest guy in the world. Receivers in the game. The Las Vegas Raiders, if I were the Steelers GM, Omar Khan, I'd offer a 4th-round pick next year. The Steelers have multiple 4ths next year to kind of work with here, and I would offer Calvin Austin III. Right now, Calvin, because the Steelers offense wants their wide receivers on early downs to run block, he's really delegated to a passing downs role in this offense. I think he could maybe play a more every down role there in Las Vegas. Kind of similar skill set to Tyler Lockett, who Geno Smith had a really good relationship with back with the Seattle Seahawks. So I think this move would kind of make sense for both sides. I think the Steelers have the cap space to make this work, especially with the Cameron Johnson cut, all the moves that they have made to create more cap space for this season. I think this move makes sense for both sides, but obviously there will be other suitors. And then in terms of the extension, I would give Myers a 2-year extension worth $18 to $20 million per season. I'd maybe even be willing to go up to like $22, $23 million per season in order to get this done. But I also want you guys to keep in mind here that an extension could very well still be in the cards for the Las Vegas Raiders and Jacoby Myers. I mean, a good example of that is Terry McLaurin. He requested a trade this offseason, and what happened? He got a deal done with the Washington Commanders. All right, we saw it with Deebo Samuel with the 49ers. We saw it last offseason with Brandon Ayuk in the Niners, right? Just because a player requests a trade away from a team doesn't mean that an extension is off the table at that point. This very well could be a negotiation strategy, a usage, and then now let's have word from more questions asked. Their risk-free trial means there's 0 downs after your purchase. Week 1 But obviously that's up to the trainers. That Juan Thornhill, kind of with a mysterious, unknown injury. I'm hoping it's not his calf injury. You know, dealing with a little something right now. Then Beanie Bishop Jr. actually missed last week's preseason. Herbig here from Mike Tomlin today said that he's still questionable for Week 1 versus the Jets with that hamstring injury that he suffered versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So hopefully Herbig can get back on the field as soon as possible, because we all know how valuable he is as this team's third edge rusher and designated pass rusher. And then some good news on the injury front here. Will Howard and his broken pinky appear to be getting back here. He was throwing at practice today. He was a kind of limited participant. He wasn't a full participant yet, but Mike Tomlin said today that he is trending towards full participation very soon, that he probably should be ready to go by the time we get to Week 1 versus the Jets. So that is bad news for Skylar Thompson, who I think the only chance he makes this team is if they trade Mason Rudolph to the Raiders, in a trade for Jacoby Myers. That's a possibility. But I do think if you have Mason Rudolph and you have Will Howard ready to go for Week 1, I think they waive Skylar Thompson, and he probably gets picked up by another NFL football team. Had an awesome preseason. He deserves to be on a 53-man roster, but I do think this team values the youth of Will Howard over a guy like Skylar Thompson. Then we get to whether or not they should shop Skylar Thompson, which I absolutely think that they should. I think that the Steelers should shop Skylar Thompson if they can get a 7th rounder out of him. If you're going to waive him anyway, if you can get a 7th round pick for Skylar Thompson, maybe from the Las Vegas Raiders, or include Skylar in a trade for Jacoby Myers, you can certainly do that. And I think there are teams that would be willing to potentially bring in Skylar as a third quarterback option, or maybe even a QB2 option, because he played great during the preseason this year. Over a 70% completion percentage. He had almost 500 yards passing in those 3 games. Also, 166 yards per game when he essentially played a game and a half of total reps. 4 touchdowns and just 1 interception. So he played very well during the preseason. He deserves an opportunity to be on a 53-man roster this year. And if the Steelers can get a 7th round pick out of that and out of him, that would be absolutely fantastic. So predict it for me down there in the comment section. Will the Steelers trade, cut, or keep Skylar Thompson this year? Type T for trade, type C for cut, or K for keep. Let me know what you guys think down there in the comment section. For me, I hope they can get a 7th round pick out of him, but I would say probably the most likely scenario at this point is he ends up getting cut and picked up by somebody around the league. Then we'll finish up here with some thoughts on Y.A. Black, the big tummy himself. Y.A. is an awesome player, guys. He was always a great run stuffer at Iowa, but it seems like he has added some pass rush moves and some great power to his game that we didn't really see coming out of Iowa, and I think a lot of it has to do with his pad level, which looks phenomenal. It looks way better now in the preseason than what it looked like on his Iowa film, and the people that have watched both can attest to that. But he needs to step up early this year because of some injuries to Keanu Benton and some injuries to Derek Harmon. But it's going to force Y.A. to play more snaps than maybe was originally forecasted by the Steelers coaching staff. And the good news is, guys, I think he's ready for that action. All right, like his ability to take on 2 players on these double teams that, frankly, Keanu Benton has had a little bit of an issue with at times playing nose tackle, but Black still has the pass rushing savvy. Had an awesome push-pull move to get to the quarterback against the Panthers last Thursday. He's got a great bull rush. He was winning from 7 technique, which is like a defensive end alignment. Like, Y.A. was doing so much during the preseason run defense. He batted down a pass. He was getting into the backfield with pressures. Like, this guy just looked really, really good, and I have to credit defensive line coach Carl Dunbar for developing this young man this early into his NFL career. I mean, frankly, if I'd have to choose between Y.A. Black and Derek Harmon based on the film, which one was the first round pick, I would have told you it was Y.A. Black. Like, he was that impressive on his preseason film, and he was still dealing with a little bit of an elbow issue as well, so maybe not that full potential have we been allowed to see yet. So I'm very excited about Y.A. Black. With some of these kind of minor injuries that the defensive line is going through, I have every confidence in Black to be able to fill whatever role this Steelers team needs him to as a quote-unquote starter to start out the season. And I'm very excited to see what Y.A. Black and Derek Harmon as the new defensive tackle duo here in Pittsburgh for the future is going to be able to do in the years to come. All right, that's going to be it for today's edition of Steelers News and Rumors. Thank you guys so much for making it to the end of today's show. Tomorrow is roster cut down day. We're going to have full extensive coverage of the full initial 53-man roster for the black and gold when it comes out tomorrow. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button for that extensive coverage.
I hate how he says wide receiver.
Thank God YouTube has changed its monetization policies. Otherwise, there's no way I could show that clip to start the show. Week 3 of the preseason in the books. The roster cuts are happening right now. Godspeed to all those men out
Brandon
there
Perrin.
chasing your dreams. I'm Brandon. The preseason does matter, Perna, and today I'm going to give you the stock report for players, for teams, all the important shit that went down this last week. If your last name is Sanders, your stock is dropping like Fartcoin. Wait, is Fartcoin holding value? I don't know. Stock up, though, the Toronto Argonauts, who have the rights to both Sanders brothers. Just wait until Trump tariffs their asses, though, Canada. They're going to be the most expensive players in Canadian football history. What I do know is Jackson Dart looks good. The Chiefs starters look too good. Some receivers continue to impress, like Tiny Man Tess Johnson, Dante Thornton, and Isaac Tesla. Most importantly, you guys continue to impress me. We're 2,000 subs away from hitting 775,000. The goal was to get to 775 before the season started. I didn't think we could do it. We're going to do it. 10,000 of you subscribed this month, and now we're on a warpath to 1 million. So let's start the show.
Brandon Perrin is best for Superman.
Today's episode is sponsored by Prize Picks and my sign-up code TGS. Prize Picks said I could keep this ad quick for you. So, I set a week 1 lineup. I'm taking more passing yards on Bo Nix, Aaron Rodgers in a revenge game, and Joe Flacco versus that Bengals defense. Football starts next week, so use my code TGS when you download the Prize Picks app. Link below. Make your first $5 deposit, and Prize Picks will give you $50 in lineups. Also, the Dak Prescott Max discount is good until game day. Make sure you take advantage of his half passing yard for week 1. We already hit 250 signups at Prize Picks, so we're 150 away from our next week TGS bonus,
Double
which is
team.
400 signups. The goal, at least 6,000 this season to make sure Prize Picks falls in love with me. Or develop Stockholm Syndrome.
Am I saying it right?
Trey Hendrickson's bank account. That's right, he got an extension to stay with the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals fans, you can finally rejoice because Trey's going to be here for, one more year?
Just
A 1-year contract, $30 million just for this season, and then he's going to be a free agent after this year. Stock down the Bengals front office for being too fucking cheap to give Trey Hendrickson guaranteed money beyond this
he's
season.
still
I think he's got a
recovering.
few good years of football left in him. But Bengals fans, you do get Trey this year. That's nice. Because for your defense to have a chance, he needs to be on the field. And while it's not ideal, while he's probably going to
1
bounce
year.
after this year, you do
Yeah, he's
get
gone.
the sack leader from last season on your terrible, terrible defense for this year. Stock up, Matthew Golden. We've all seen the clips from training camp, but Matthew Golden's stock is officially rising after he hauled in this great catch. That's the only
Oh,
catch
that
he
was
needed
nice.
to make to convince me the Packers' receiving problems are officially over. Romeo Dubs found the end zone as well, and I have to ask, does Romeo have a Guardian cap that is bigger than everyone else's? I know he needs it, but it looks huge. Knowing the Packers converted Bo Melton to corner, maybe they should wait and see if Seattle releases safety Ty Akata, who made this ridiculous one-handed interception,
Ooh.
and convert a safety to receiver. Number 2
Oh,
receiver
no.
behind Matthew Golden. Stock down, probably Jalen Milroe a little bit. He did throw a touchdown, but Milroe was sacked 5 times, and the real issue was ball security. He lost 3 fumbles on the day. If the Packers play the Seahawks'
Ooh.
third-string quarterback every week, they're going to have the best defense in the NFL. That's my prediction. The good news for Jalen Milroe is that his last name is
I'll
not
get him.
Sanders, and it's totally okay. He had a rough preseason game because he's a 3rd-round draft pick, and development is to be expected.
Geo
Stock up
Brown
in
stats or something.
Carolina, seeing that Jay Plummer wearing number 16. Thank you, Panthers. I'm a better man every day that I think about Jake Plummer.
You know, I had these dreams and visions of one day when everybody would be talking to each other on screens.
As James Taylor once said, I'm going to Carolina, Jake Plummer in my mind. Stock down, NFL safety. With all the emphasis around keeping the head safe, the NFL still allows pregnant men to play the game.
He's
I
not
know
pregnant.
this is an unpopular opinion, but I don't think it's safe to play when carrying a child. Let me introduce you to Yaya Black. His stock is going up. This 6'6", 330-pound defensive lineman had 2 sacks and earned himself a Baldy's breakdown.
Here he is on the cock nose. I didn't know anybody even taught the cock nose anymore. Look at him hold the point. Strong at the point. And then when he gets to the ball carrier, they always go backwards. Joe Green is smiling. He's like, that's how you play football in Pittsburgh.
Yaya Black was taken in the 5th out of Iowa, and if he keeps getting to the QB, we can all scream, yeah, yeah. It's another big black sack.
I didn't know anybody even taught the cock nose anymore.
4th-round rookie running back Trevor Etienne dodged almost the entire Steelers
That was
defense on this
crazy.
big run. I hope he carves out a role for himself with Jonathan Brooks missing the entire
Hey,
season.
ETN is
Explosive
nice.
player behind. Chuba Hubbard is key for Bryce Young. Stock down, whoever leaked the Jalen Pope injury news.
I think there was a report today that Jalen Pope will have to have season-ending shoulder surgery. Can you add anything to that?
No. I don't know, other than I'd like to find out where some of these come from. You know, some of these rats around here, so we'll figure that out.
Mike Vrabel is going to snip out the rat, and to me that means he's going to be waiting for that guy like Mark Wahlberg at the end of The Departed.
Okay.
Stock down, football fans, falling for Jameis Winston again. Guys, he's supposed to look good playing against backups. He was the number 1 overall pick. I can't think of a single player who gets as much love for not being good at football as Jameis Winston. Maybe Shedeur Sanders. Is Jameis unintentionally hilarious? Yes. Is he fun to watch play? Very. Would I rather watch a quarterback who every other play is either a touchdown or a pick versus a dink and dunk artist? Yes, I would. Oh, God, did I just convince myself Jameis should start 17 games? I did. He's too much fun. Hey, I'm just saying. Stock up, Jackson Dart. Dart has been great on the field, except the one time where he did not slide, which sent him to the blue medical tent. That's when Jameis came in and threw 1 touchdown on 1 throw, but Dart is truly a star. He got clips passed around the internet for how he hurried up the process in the medical evaluation. He fed Jameis the W. If you're getting that kind of traction in the 3rd preseason game, man, New York media is going to send you into the stratosphere. Then they're going to tear you to shreds the moment you flounder. But the rise will be fast, guys. Assuming the Giants get rid of Jalen Hyatt. Stock down, 2 drops for Hyatt. That's why I prefer to stay at a Marriott. Hyatt's clearly trying
Why
to
would they not let me
sabotage
catch that
Jacksonville.
motherfucker? God
And
damn.
convince the coaches to start Jameis since he's only catching his passes. Dart's stock is higher than ever. We all know that. And if he turns out to be a really good NFL quarterback, I will never let the Browns or Steelers forget it because they both had chances to draft him. Stock up. Tommy Cutler to be a really good NFL quarterback. I will never let the Browns or Steelers forget it because they both had chances to draft him. Stock up. Tommy Cutler's era may be coming to an end in New York, but he went out with a gabagool. Danny DeVito tossed 3 touchdowns for a $198 and had 3 incompletions. If there is a
Damn,
football
that's a
god,
good fucking
you
play.
will not break up this quarterback room.
They call us the Three Amigos, but somebody had to have trick today. We set it up. Then we got
Send Russell Wilson packing because he's clearly the odd man out there. Eagles, Jets, not too much to take away from this game. Neither team really played any starters, but I did notice this slippery motherfucker, Jamal Pritchett, who rolled Eli Ricks twice. First he breaks his ankles, then he breaks his teammate's ankles, which sends his teammate flying back into his ankles. From now on, whenever I hear someone say, you just got rickrolled, this is what I'm going to think about. Sorry, Eli Ricks. Teammate flying back into his ankles.
From now
Ooh.
on, whenever I hear someone say, you just got rickrolled, this is what I'm going to think about. Sorry, Eli Ricks. Falcons, Cowboys, stock up, Micah Parsons' agent.
They wanted to send the details to the agent. The agent
Traps the fucking man. Damn.
Who forced Jerry Jones to go on a rehearsed media tour to try and convince all of us that it's normal for Jerry Jones to refuse to negotiate with the player's agent. During the game, Micah Parsons was seen laying on a training table. This is exactly how all of our spouses look on the couch at home when we try and explain to them why the fourth quarter of a Cowboys-Falcons preseason game is actually important for our 16-man dynasty fantasy league. Stock up kickers, Brandon Aubrey and Joey Sly both nailed 64 and 63-yard field goals. Throw in Cam Little 70-yarder from a few weeks ago, and we have seen 3 kicks that would all live in the NFL record books. Stock down these idiots for wasting their once-in-a-lifetime kicks on the preseason. Joe Milton tossed an FDR in this game and had arguably his best preseason game of the season. He rushed for a TD as well. If the Cowboys see him in the regular season, though, that means things have fallen apart. Stock down. The moment it looked like the Cowboys found a running back in rookie Jaden Blue, he injured his ankle. It
Dang.
doesn't appear serious, that's the good news, and I think the best run of the game came by way of Phil Maffa. Micah Parsons and the Cowboys run game, those are big question marks. After seeing this clip, though, I'll never call him Michael Penis Jr. again. Hey, Michael Penis! Let's go! 1 week, I will never call him that name again.
Just went a little bit too far.
Stock down, the Falcons for signing my hero, Ben only to cut him after this game. I still have no idea why Atlanta opted to not play Michael Penix at all this preseason. Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes both played a few series. If Andy Reid and Patty Mahomes are getting some work in, why the fuck is a second-year quarterback beyond that? The best thing you could do for your big Penix is warm it up first, Raheem. Oh, crap, I didn't even make it 2 sentences. I'm screwed.
Just went a little bit too far.
Van Jefferson down by a river in a top
That's so
speed
funny,
of 22 miles per hour, which is faster than some actual vans go. Stock down, the poor fuck trying to tackle Van Jefferson that whipped twice at the point of attack. If an announcer says this about him in the
Damn, I knew it was off.
preseason, they shook him completely out of the You're going to need to tell Brian Flores you played through an injury that day. Tell him your ACL was torn up, your Achilles was torn, and you just found out your dog is dying. You need an excuse. Big news for the Vikings, of course, is the addition of quarterback Carson Wentz, who finally has a new team.
No,
Stock
man.
down. The Vikings for needing to sign Carson Wentz. Minnesota then
He
probably
threw with
traded
the speed
Sam
out there.
to the Eagles to acquire a 5th rounder from Philly. Philly made this move because Tanner McKee broke his thumb and howls a bit of an insurance policy to start the season. The good news is Tanner McKee won't have to start the season on IR. Stock up, undrafted former University of Minnesota.
Okay, I ran both of them
quarterback
motherfuckers.
Max
Get the fuck out of here.
Rosmer, who was extremely impressive in the preseason, earned himself a roster spot on either the practice squad or the
Both of them do
53
this
for
faster than
Minnesota. I
dudes.
don't know how it'll shake out exactly. As someone who tried to play college football 25 last season with Tim Grissy leading the Golden Gophers, really proud
Tim Grissy.
Bosmer could do what I couldn't and make it to the pros. Bears, Chiefs, stock down. The keyboard warriors out there evaluating Caleb Williams. Caleb had a rough first series, and there were a lot of people just itching to shit on the dude. Yes, he took a bad sack after holding onto the ball for an eternity, where there was tight coverage by KC. He and the Bears offense bounced back, though, with the scoring drive
Damn, unless we
later.
get a pick, we ain't
This
getting
goes
this.
back. Williams will figure it out, but there's going to be some growing pains along the way. I don't think it happens until midway through the season. I believe we have to give Caleb Williams as a rookie. Maybe even below rookie status because he has to unlearn all the dumb shit Shane Waldron and Matt Eberflus taught him last year. Stock down the Chiefs because their offensive line looks really, really good again. Patrick Mahomes looked scary when he had time. He looked horrifying while improvising. And worst of all, the refs appeared ready to allow his linemen to cheat while protecting him. Trey Smith made 2 nasty blocks in a row. The second block there is definitely illegal, and it's a great time to remind everyone, well, Devil Magic coffee. I've got the Devil Magic for the Chiefs, but I've also got Fuck the Refs coffee over at my website, benchwarmershop.com, and we just dropped our new cursed logos. All of these shirts are available. We even got a poster of all the cursed logos. I think we only got like 100 of these posters because I didn't know who would want them. Benchwarmershop.com, though. We're ready for the 2025 season. Check it out. Thank you so much, Rachel, for all of these designs. You fucking crushed it this year, Rachel. You crushed it. Stock down, Isaiah Pacheco, who appeared to be ready to finally top Gus Farad for finding the worst way to get a concussion in a football game. If Pacheco played for any other team, I love his seizure-like running style, but I hate him. And I hope that trash can.
The fucking offensive line, 96, baby.
Stock up, Ja'Day Walker. In the conclusion of this game, Walker not only had an absolutely ridiculous sideline catch, he also caught the game winner for newly paid backup QB Tyson Bagent, who has been a really fun story. I think we were all happy to see Tyson get paid, and then to win this game like this was thrilling. Shout out to Walker, who certainly channeled his own devil magic after catching that touchdown. Is he levitating? Are you levitating? Yeah, fight fire with fire, Walker. Ravens, Commanders stock down the backup quarterbacks in Washington, Josh Johnson and Sam Hartman, who combined for 3 picks in this game. Now, I do trust the most journeyman quarterback in Josh Johnson, but if anything happens to Jane Daniels this season, I am
Who the fuck is out there, dude?
The Ravens might have found their franchise kicker in rookie Tyler Loop, who blasted this 61-yarder. He really might be the second coming of Justin Tucker. But let's be honest, any coming of Justin Tucker is a problem. Stuck up, Washington's Colston Yankoff, who had a 52-yard catch and run through the middle of the Ravens defense. And once again, the Ravens are undone by a Yankoff.
You can't say that on TV.
If there is a God, please put Yankoff on the same team as Michael Penix. Stock up, congrats Washington, you finally extended receiver Terry McLaurin, the Commanders' top ball catchers, returning for an additional 3 years and $96 million. You can all breathe a sigh of relief, Commanders fans. Scary Terry is staying home.
80 million of his
super high on Denver, but not only or just because of their defense.
Broncos, Saints. It doesn't matter, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter, it does not matter, but it's still nice to see the Broncos had the number 1 offense and number 1 defense this preseason, both by pass and run offense and pass and run defense. And next gen's newest stat, just general big dickiness here in Denver. Bo Nix looks ready for the regular season. This is the most elite check down throw you'll ever see. If someone calls Bo Nix a check down merchant, I'm just going to show him this play. Cortland Sutton looks ready for the regular season. J.K. Dobbins is going to be the Broncos' starting running back, and I hope he's great because I'm really not sure about the depth at the running back position for the moment. Stock up the Broncos' depth at the edge position. He's been flying under the radar since Denver drafted him, but Q Robinson out of Alabama in the 4th round, he can get to the quarterback on Q. On Q Robinson. Yes, a family-friendly nickname for all of you. Nick Bonito, Jonathan Cooper, Jonah Ellis, DeAndre Tillman, assuming the Broncos don't trade him or release him, and Q Robinson. I haven't felt this good about Denver's pass rushers since they had Vaughn, DeMarcus Ware, Shaq Barrett, and Shane Ray. So it's been a long time. Stock down the Saints QB room. I think they really need to add a veteran there. Release Jake Haener and honestly see if Denver would be willing to trade you Jarrett Stidham. He could start week 1 for you. He had an incredible preseason with silly EPA numbers to back it up, and he would be a great mentor for Tyler Shuck or Spencer Rattler. Neither look truly ready to start week 1. I love Stidham, and I prefer he stay in Denver just in case something happened to God bless Bo Nix, but his value is probably at an all-time high. Sam Ehlinger scored with a scramble and throw that Shedeur Sanders wished he had in his bag of tricks, which takes us to the Browns. Stock down, Shedeur Sanders.
Shiloh Sanders. The Sanders in general, even ESPN not knowing that this was a Barry Sanders jersey.
Let's get into it because obviously this ties to one Shador Sanders who balled out in his first.
No.
I'm sorry.
That's like Deshaun Watson not knowing what a fucking settlement is, ESPN. Rough week for Sanders, though. God, I hope Bernie's okay. Shador had a bad game. There's no getting around it, all right? He took bad sacks. He couldn't get rid of the football. He missed on throws. And he had bad protection. Honestly, I think Shador has been studying the wrong quarterback in Cleveland. And I know what you're thinking, Brandon. There's been 39 of them. Which one are you talking about? Even when Shador did avoid all of the sacks, the ball just couldn't stick to his target's hands. If Shador doesn't learn to climb the pocket and get rid of the ball quickly, his career's going to be short. He had 3.96 seconds to throw against the Rams, the longest any QB has had in the preseason since they started making up all this bullshit in 2013. Stock up the Shador Sanders circus. Oh, God, I love the crazy and dumb attention and the takes surrounding this circus, okay? I like the conspiracy that Kevin Stefanski sabotaged him. I like the conspiracy about the 4 linemen blocking for him, getting released because the Sanders brand is so big that they had no other choice. That's what happens to a lot of guys, though, playing late in games. They get cut. And if Stefanski was okay with Deshaun Watson, I don't think Shador's so bad he tried to sabotage him. I love that the conspiracies are on opposite sides as well. The line didn't protect him, so they got fired. The coach tried to make him look bad, so they kept him on the roster. Pick a lane. The unfortunate truth is the Browns' depth chart has been right the whole time, hasn't it? Shador just might be the 4th best QB they have. Fuck. We were all wrong about everything. Stock up Dylan Gabriel. Okay, let's talk about the other rookie who's actually played well in Cleveland in the last 2 games. Gabriel cooked this week. He threw a touchdown, and he's put together 2 solid performances. I think Gabriel has looked more composed and decisive with his opportunities. Joe Flacco was surgical, going 9 for 10, throwing a TD as well. And oh shit, is Joe actually turning into a mentor? Joe Flacco, the leader?
That's part of being a rookie. You're going to get thrown into situations that, maybe you don't think are ideal. I got thrown into a game against New England with 2 minutes left. I fumbled on the 1-yard line. They scored 2 plays later, and that was John Harbaugh's first preseason game, and he was not happy. I mean, I wasn't happy either, but, it's part of the game. It's part of what makes a football player is learning how to, deal with those situations and learn from them.
Colts, Bengals, stock up Riley Leonard and Laquan Treadwell? What's better than facing a Bengals defense? Facing a non-starting Bengals defense, and Riley Leonard took advantage, going 15 to 20 for 189 yards and a TD. Maybe there's a glimmer of hope for Colts faithful after all. Laquan Treadwell, he's been in the NFL since 2016. He's kind of a famous first-round bust for the Vikings. But I love a dude fighting to stay in the league, and Treadwell had 6 catches for 116 yards and a touchdown. Stock down, just teams holding their starting and backup quarterbacks out of the preseason. I love that they've decided even the backup is too valuable to get snaps in the final game. Jake Brown, and get those pads off. It's time to see Desmond Ridder and Peyton Thorne get some action in Cincinnati. Houston, Detroit, the Hendon Hooker era may be ending soon in Detroit, but the Isaac Tesla era is just beginning. Tesla scored again and hit us all with the worm celebration. The Lions have a ton of weapons right now, but I'm excited to see how they get this guy into the mix this year. If Ben Johnson was still there, I'd be even more excited, but I think Goff will utilize and love his Tesla, assuming it's not the Cybertruck. Then we got Jags and the Dolphins. Stock up running back Ollie Gordon. Ollie only had 8 yards in this game, but the consensus from Dolphins fans is that he just looks like a running back. He averaged 5.4 yards per carry, and he also appears to be the answer Miami needs in short yardage situations. Great vision, he runs tough, and he's probably worked himself into an RB2 position. Stock down, Travis Hunter, who missed his 2nd preseason game as he deals with an upper body injury. The injury isn't considered serious, and honestly, if you want him to play both ways for an entire season, the less reps he gets in the preseason, probably a good thing. But I fear this is an early sign of how hard it might be to become a legitimate two-way player in the NFL. Bills, Buccaneers, stock down, Shiloh Sanders, who got ejected for throwing a punch. I think he took the term fighting for a roster spot a bit too literally, and it just didn't work. Stock up, though, also Shiloh Sanders, who knew his brother had a bad game, and he did this just to try and take the attention off of his brother. That's real family shit right there. The Buccaneers then cut Shiloh Sanders the next day, and the Toronto Argonauts of the Canadian Football League added him to their negotiating list, and they already have Shedeur Sanders right, so they could have both Sanders on their roster. I think watching both Sanders kids play in Canada has a greater than 0% chance of happening, which is pretty good versus what I would have told you a month ago. Stock up, Bills receiver Tyrell Shavers and his one-handed touchdown grab. Catches like this transcend coverage. And what I know about Shavers is the Bills coaching staff fucking loves this guy, and I think they need to have him on the final 53-man roster. Stock up, small men. Not only do we live longer, but we do cooler shit when we catch touchdown passes. Former Oregon Duck Tez Johnson, the lightest man in the NFL, took advantage of his playing time in Tampa. Tez was also perfect on the night, catching all 8 balls thrown his way for 58 yards and that touchdown. And with Jalen McMillan's neck injury keeping him out for half the season, and Chris Godwin trying to ease back from his ACL tear, Tez might get a good amount of reps early this season. Niners, Chargers. The 49ers officially finalized the trade for former Commanders running back Brian Robinson Jr. Seeing Kyle Shanahan pair Brian Robinson and Ricky Pearson together, 2 NFL players who've famously been shot in robbery attempts, makes me think he's about to give Plexico Burress a call to join their depleted receiving room. Speaking of weird injuries, stock up for Najee Harris, who says his eye is better after that 4th of July firework mishap. Sorry, Najee. Even if it's healthy, I'm still going to call you Lisa Left Eye Lopez all season long. And last, but certainly also least, Raiders, Cardinals. But hey, there was an insane touchdown grab by Dante Thornton in this one. His stock is up. It looks like the 4th-round receiver, Dante Thornton, is going to make the Raiders' final 53-man roster, which is unfortunate, because he looks pretty good. He looks good. Should I be rooting for a man's entire life's dreams to end so my football team doesn't have to work so hard to beat his football team? Yes. Yes, that's exactly what sports are about. Aiden O'Connell ended a rough preseason with a broken wrist, so Las Vegas may be looking to add a backup quarterback. Hey, Pete Carroll, why don't you give Derek Carr a call? Do it, Pete.
Why don't you just put it in my hands? Why don't you just give it back to me?
Also, I'm starting to think Ashton Genty is going to be hard to tackle in the NFL, and honestly, I'm a little worried about the Raiders. Thanks for watching That's Good Sports. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Don't forget our cursed shirts, now available at benchwarmershop.com. Rachel worked really hard on this year's batch, so make sure you go check them out.
When you've got smoke-free satisfaction, you've got the freedom to do things your way. Get $20 off 5 cans of Zyn when you take the Zyn 10 challenge. Try it for 10 days.
Under the bright lights of the Caesars Superdome, Super Bowl 59 brought together 2 familiar foes on the game's grandest stage. The Philadelphia Eagles, hungry to redeem the heartbreak of 2 years prior, and the Kansas City Chiefs seeking to cement their spot in history and affirm their undying love for Satan by three-peating. You already know how this game ends. But
It's called a cold open, and it's meant to keep you here till the end of the video. I know what you're thinking. Will we see Cooper DeJean, the most athletic white person in human history, pick six Patrick Mahomes in this episode? And the answer is repeatedly. But before we get to the crescendo of the NFL season in mid-February, let's start all the way back when it is started. At the very start, like Coldplay.
Oh, take me back to the start.
Unlike Coldplay, I'm not ousting any high-level CEOs and their affairs. But if I could oust an owner, it would be Jimmy Haslam. Yes, I would save your franchise if I could, Browns fans. It's the 2024 season recap to prepare you for 2025. Don't forget, the best way to support this channel is free. It's a subscription. Subscribe here. We're trying to get to 775,000 subs before the season starts. Today's episode is sponsored by Prize Picks and my sign-up code TGS. Here's the thing. Prize Picks is hitting me with big bonuses for every 200 sign-ups I generate. And honestly, I want them to get tired of paying me this season. So, if you live in one of the 45 states where Prize Picks is available and you like playing in these types of lineup builders, just use my code when you play. It makes a huge difference here. Make your first $5 deposit and Prize Picks will give you $50 in lineups. You pick 2 to 6 players, choose more or less on their stat projections, and bang, you're set if your picks hit. You can win up to 25 times your money if your picks hit. No sharks, no salary caps, no confusing drafts, just you versus the numbers. And I guess I love making picks for season-long stat projections. Your $5 gives you a season's worth of tracking. Normally I'm an optimist, but these are my NFL fades on season-long passing yard stat totals. And I grouped together 4 quarterbacks who I think will have fewer passing yards than Prize Picks is projected. Sorry, Caleb, JJ, Sam, and Jalen. I love all of you, but I feel like the yards are just a tad high. I'd advise doing the opposite of what I do, but you can follow me on Prize Picks. My user's name is That's Good Sports, and I got that blue check mark. And I didn't have to pay for this one. Prize Picks has every sport you can think of. NFL, and you know the other sport, skateball? Nah, basket pigeon? The other sports. Nah, just do football. Seriously, let's hit those first 200 sign-ups by the end of the week. The 2024 NFL season opened for the second year in a row in Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. The Chiefs and the Ravens delivered a great opening to the season, and the Ravens were a toe's length away from stealing the kickoff game against the same team they lost the AFC Championship game to a few months earlier. The Chiefs followed up that game by reeling off 15 wins in their first 16 games. And did I forget to mention that the season concludes with Cooper DeJean pick-sixing the fuck out of Mahomes in the Super Bowl? They were no longer the high-flying Chiefs of old, just a team that knew how to win close games. Sometimes it was a well-timed pass interference, a blocked field goal to win at the buzzer. No! No! They blocked the goddamn kick! Or a fumbled snap that took the Raiders out of field goal range. I do have to thank the NFL for ranking the blocked field goal from the Broncos-Chiefs games as just the 100th best play of the year. I had that ranked as the single worst play in the last 5 years, so thank you, NFL. They blocked the goddamn kick! The Chiefs found a way to grind out games through necessity. Hollywood Brown was injured immediately, and Patty Mahomes took out Rashee Rice's ACL, trying to make a tackle after throwing an interception. For fans rooting against Kansas City, I think it's worse watching a team that looks beatable continue to win every week the way the Chiefs did. They were so banged up in the receiving department, they made a mid-season trade for DeAndre Hopkins. The only team that was able to put an end to their undefeated start, the Buffalo Billies. The Bills starting in with Josh Allen. And in Season 7, the 2024 NFL MVP cut his interceptions down to just 6, combining for 41 touchdowns, including a backyard-style TD reception, as he led Buffalo to 13 wins and a 5th consecutive AFC title game. Late in the season, the Bills were finding themselves in shootouts. A 44-42 loss to the Rams, followed by a 48-42 victory at Ford Field against the Lions. A mid-season trade for Browns receiver Amari Cooper didn't provide the boost the Bills were hoping for, but in a lot of ways, the Bills' offense exceeded expectations as Josh Allen masterfully spread the ball around, with Stephon Diggs now in Houston. James Cook had his best year in the backfield and found the end zone 18 total times. Overall, Buffalo scored a franchise record 525 points, and the only team that scored more were the team they beat in Detroit. The 2024 Lions were a wagon, a juggernaut that was fresh, creative, and addictive television. Ben Johnson had Jared Goff falling down on purpose before throwing touchdowns. Jahmyr Gibbs broke out and led the NFL in total touchdowns with 20, and safety Kirby Joseph paced the league with 9 picks on defense. He was a ball hawk. And former UFL kicker Jake Bates was blasting 50-plus yard field goals with ease. More importantly, he was practicing tantric sex with the turf he played upon. Far more sensual than J-Mo's aggressive turf fucking we witnessed. You gotta warm her up first, J-Mo. Jake Bates set the Lions scoring record with 142 points and Amon I'm not gonna do it this time. St. Brown set a Lions record with 8 consecutive games with the
got a runner, huh?
Detroit
Damn,
was
what's
the
wrong
big
with Bruno,
what-if
man?
team of 2024.
The
thing
it's
that
just the way it
ultimately
is, man.
what-if them, held them back was their injury situation. Detroit lost 21 players to IR by December. That's nearly half an active roster, and it disproportionately affected the defensive side of the ball. The most devastating, of course, was Eden Hutchinson's broken fibula and tibia, one that
Bro,
derailed
they
a
look like they were
potential
on
defensive
design
player of the
lines,
year
man, like
campaign for
fucking
the edge
cut out,
rusher and
fucking
limited
trace
a
lines.
15-2
That's
team
crazy.
ceiling. Despite the revolving door of ailments, they were still a
We don't
well-oiled
take
machine.
angles.
And that was on display when Jared Goff went 18 for 18 with 296 yards against the Seahawks on Monday Night Football. He was perfect, 100% completion rate. Those Seahawks, though, they put together 10 wins under new head coach Mike McDonald, bouncing back from a 4-5 start to the season and finishing strong despite a drop-off from running back Kenneth Walker and uncharacteristically slow seasons out of
95 fucking speed for what?
A
They
bright
should be
spot
all
for
over
Seattle was
him.
Jackson Smith and Jigba, who posted 1,100 receiving yards in year 2, catching passes from Geno Smith. Seattle did get to 10 wins, with their only losses coming at the hands of playoff teams following their Week 10 bye. It was their first 10-win season since 2020, but they still missed the playoffs. The 49ers would have been the easy pick to win the NFC West, but massive injuries, including their first-round pick Ricky Pearsall being shot in the fucking chest during a robbery attempt in August on the streets of San Francisco, as well as the losses of Deebo Samuel, and massive injuries, including their first-round pick Ricky Pearsall being shot in the fucking chest during a robbery attempt in August on the streets of San Francisco, as well as the losses of Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. Those injuries foiled their chance to defend an NFC title. Chest during a rob would have been the easy pick to win the NFC West, but massive injuries, including their first-round pick Ricky Pearsall being shot in the fucking chest during a robbery attempt in August on the streets of San Francisco, as well as the losses of Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. Those injuries foiled their chance to defend an NFC title. Arizona spoiled a 6-4 start, but their running back DJ Dallas did become the first player in NFL history to return the brand new dynamic kickoff for a touchdown when he went 96 yards in Week 1 at Buffalo. And did Cooper DeJean pick 6 Mahomes in the Super Bowl? Yes, he did. But the team that muscled their way atop the division, the LA Rams, who shook off a 1-4 stretch to begin 2024 and took off after getting Puka Nacua back on the field. The most impressive thing the Rams did, though, was replace Aaron Donald's production on the defensive line seamlessly with two rookies. Braden Fisk, the unsung hero who notched 8.5 sacks as a rookie in defensive end, and of course, Defensive Rookie of the Year, Jared Verse, who had 4.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, and 77 pressures, which was good for third best in the league.
You double team me. We got Toby, we got Fitz, we got BY, we got Hoyt.
Byron Young and Kobe Turner in their third years also made their D-line formidable. All homegrown talent for the Rams, who were aided, of course, by a no call on a clear face mask against Sam Darnold and the Vikings on Thursday Night Football. And before we move on, I'd like to just share a few of my favorite blocks from the 2024 football season. Broncos center Luke Wattenberg is officially mimicking my snapping style. He will replace me this week on the Flop 10. Tony Romo glazing Patrick Mahomes for throwing the ball into the dirt.
This is Mahomes throwing it in the dirt on purpose. And then he's got such great instincts. He tries.
Cam Taylor Britt walking back his comments after saying Cliff Kingsbury runs a college offense and that they don't ask Jaden Daniels to do a lot.
Do you regret what you said?
They don't make him do a lot. They keep it really simple for him. That's college offense. Kingsbury, the OC, so I do not regret it. And I didn't mean anything malicious out of the comment.
You know you messed up when you're referring to the reporter as ma'am. Scooch came down. Previously, the Dolphins gave us the butt punt. Now just the butt. Dan Quinn's hand signals.
Really inspirational. That's the kind of guy.
Okay, we're all thinking about drawing two juicy wieners between his hands, animating some girthy behemoths in there, and looping it for an hour. But hats off to the clean tweet going viral for a Phil Collins drumming reference.
Yeah.
That is rare, because literally drumming references are now used for jerk-off jokes. For the second week in a row, the sun foils the Cowboys. CeeDee Lamb loses the ball in the sun. How rarely do you get to see a man's arrogance come back to bite him in real time? And by man, make no mistake, I mean John.
God has blessed you, my friend, with a special gift.
Oh, those plays were just so stupid. Speaking of Sam Darnold, he broke out in a big way in 2024. When rookie quarterback J.J. McCarthy was lost for the season after parting, the starting job belonged securely to Darnold, and he cruised to a 35-touchdown, 4,300-yard campaign in year 7 under NFL head coach of the year Kevin O'Connell. 97 of those yards came on one pass to Justin Jefferson, who had a down year with just 1,500 yards and 10 scores. And any other year 14 wins would have been enough for the Vikings to take the NFC North. Fortunately, the Lions made sure in Week 18 that Minnesota would have to go on the road in the playoffs and face the Rams. In fact, 3 teams from the NFC North.
Dude, I can't believe y'all didn't call foul.
The Packers got in for the second straight year under quarterback Jordan Love, who unfortunately sprained his knee Week 1 in Brazil against the Eagles. Their success on offense was aided by free agent addition Josh Jacobs and his 16 touchdowns. Thank God for Josh Jacobs, because Green Bay's young receivers were a Shakespearean tragedy. Romeo, oh where art thou, Romeo, was battling concussions. Christian Watson tore his ACL late in the season, and the other receivers were dropping more balls than puberty. The Packers were 11-5 before a Week 18 loss to their arch rival, the Chicago Bears beat them? Yep. And by that point, Chicago was on an interim head coach after Matt Eberflus proved on Thanksgiving that there wasn't much going on underneath that beautiful head of hair. The Bears were an absolute train wreck in 2024, and they bottomed out the day after Christmas, losing 6-3 to the Seahawks in the most unwatchable Thursday night game of all time. Yes, even more unwatchable than the one you're thinking about throwing in my face in the comments. expectations were high. The Bears were
Oh,
on Hard
man.
Knocks. They had signed Keenan Allen and drafted Roma Dunze, and they were supposedly putting first overall pick Caleb Williams into a favorable situation. Just wasn't the case. The first of 6 quarterbacks taken in round 1, Caleb Williams was supposed to thrive. As a rookie, he wasn't a mess, and his 20 touchdowns to 6 picks looked pretty good on the stat sheet, but he also took a league-high 68 sacks. If you're scoring him out of the 5 first-round rookie quarterbacks that actually took the field, he was probably 4th. I'm tired. Let's take a look at those guys in no particular order. Draketh May was the 3rd overall pick and went to New England, who really had no plan under Gerard Mayo other than to feed Jacoby Brissett to the Wolves until the Wolves were fat and slow enough that they thought they could sneak Drake May onto the field without getting murdered. The Pats shocked everyone when they beat the Bengals week 1, then lost their next 4 before giving Drake May a shot. And despite a shoddy offensive line and close to zero weaponry at his disposal, May acquitted himself nicely. The stat sheet wasn't eye-popping, but at times the eye test was a poppin'. Speaking of popping,
I'm like penis. I'm named after my dad's penis.
Michael Big Penix Jr., the surprise Falcons first-round pick, didn't get his shot until week 16. The Falcons paid an injured big Kirk Cousins $100 million and then drafted Penix 8th overall. Hashtag never forget. And did I mention that the whitest corner, Cooper DeJean, obliterated Patrick Mahomes and those devil dick-sucking Chiefs in the Super Bowl? Did I say that?
Got it.
Kirk Cousins had started
Why is he not
strong,
running?
especially with the 500-yard outing in a walk-off OT win against the Bucs, but never looked fully healed from his Achilles tear. Cousins led the league in picks, and finally Penix got a look and played well enough. It's a wait-and-see situation with Penix. A big story for Atlanta outside of Cousins' dismal play, though, was their lack of a pass rush. Things eventually picked up a little, and they finished with the second fewest sacks in 2024 at 31, just ahead of the Patriots, who had 28. In Week 17, Penix lost a duel to the 2nd overall pick and Offensive Rookie of the Year, Jaden Daniels, who beat Atlanta with an overtime touchdown to Zach Ertz. That wasn't even Daniels' defining moment in year 1. That might have come when he put up a show against the Bengals with 3 TDs on Monday night, or when he erased a 2-touchdown deficit to fell the mighty Eagles in Philly. It's hard to pick just one. Oh wait, I can pick just one. How about a Hail Mary pass to beat the Bears while he had a broken rib? Bears corner Tyreek Stevenson got to his spot late to defend the pass because he was, taunting the crowd before the play and during the play. The ball bounced off his hand and found Noah Brown right on time, sending the Commies and Bears on opposite trajectories. Chicago would lose 9 games in a row after that moment. 10 total, counting the Hail Mary play. Over his first season, though, Jaden Daniels threw 25 touchdowns and rushed for 6 more. And the only rookie who had him beat there? God bless Bo Nix. The one quarterback everyone and their mother shit on before the season. The man I made a Christian worship song for. I believe. 2024 Broncos were expected to be a train wreck. Still hamstrung by Russell Wilson's contract and the loss of safety Justin Simmons, Denver powered past an ugly 0-2 start.
Bo, can you take us through the interception in the end zone?
Drop back, do it to the other team. And won 10 of their last 15. They would have made it 11, but Satan was unfortunately not on their side when it came time to kick the game-winning field goal. And they blocked the goddamn kick! But the quarterback who got them down there was a revelation, throwing more TDs in a single season than any other Bronco not named Peyton Manning. But it was the defense that stole the show. Denver produced a league-leading 63 sacks and 5 defensive touchdowns, including 2 pick sixes, a Jameis Winston, and a Monday Night Classic. And, of course, the Defensive Player of the Year, PS2, Pat Surtain. Locked up more receivers than the Miami PD. Locked them down. They dominated lesser teams like the Saints, Falcons, and Panthers. In hindsight, their 26-7 dominant victory over the Buccaneers to give Denver their first win was very impressive, considering Baker and Tampa made the postseason. As good as Bo Nix was when the Broncos faced playoff teams, they did struggle. The forgotten story about the rookie quarterbacks is that Bo Nix, Caleb Williams, and Jaden Daniels didn't throw a single fucking touchdown pass through the first 2 weeks of the season. Jaden and Caleb each got their firsts in week 3, but Bo Nix went all the way to week 4 in a monsoon against the Jets and still finished with 30 TD passes. Denver returned to the playoffs for the first time since 2015. And those Browns I just mentioned, well, they won just 3 games. Before I even say the name, Deshaun Watson. The Browns were a disaster on all sides of the ball. Injuries destroyed their offensive line. A defense that carried them a year before netted just 4 interceptions, worst in the league, and their best receiver was former Bronco Jared Judy, specifically in his revenge dagger game against the Broncos in primetime. And I would like to pause here for a second for a moment of silence as we remember Perdue picking off that fuck stick Patty Mahomes in the Super Bowl. 2 of the Browns' 4 wins came after Deshaun Watson tore his Achilles. One of those wins came in a snow-globe game against the rival Steelers. A team that had started hot with Justin Fields, continued to win after switching to Russell Wilson, but watched as a 10-3 start plummeted to 10-7 when Russ was essentially figured out. Their final loss came to the Bengals, one of the weirdest case studies of 2024. Russ threw 16 touchdowns in 11 games, but it felt like every completion was either a go ball to George Pickens or a check down. Mike Tomlin continued to dodge a losing record for the 18th straight season, but they were perfectly average and boring on offense, which can't be said about their rivals in Ohio. Cincinnati featured a quarterback who led the NFL in yards and touchdown passes, a Triple Crown winner at receiver in Jamar Chase, and the NFL sack leader in Trey Hendrickson, and essentially nothing else. Their defense cost them 2 games where the offense scored 38 points, and by the time they reeled off 5 wins to end the season, including a marathon overtime victory over Denver where T. Higgins dominated the show, they could not outrun their 4-8 start to the season. They missed the playoffs, and in that final week, they sat and watched, praying for a team to lose. And the Broncos were one of the teams they needed to lose, and the Chiefs played none of their starters. And Cincy watched in horror as Denver violated Carson Wentz week 18. But the class of the AFC North was the Ravens. Odd calling the Ravens the class of the North, considering their kicker was a serial pervert. Baltimore, though, got a career year from quarterback Lamar Jackson, whose 41-4 ratio for touchdowns and interceptions was not enough to win a 3rd MVP. Their offense changed when they signed running back Derrick Henry.
He got robbed, dude. He got more yardage, less interceptions,
helping to lead the
more
charge in a
touchdowns.
great comeback year at the running back position across the NFL. 2024 was really the year that revived the running back. Lamar Jackson was fumbling and still throwing touchdowns on the same damn play, along with the Bills and the Chiefs. They were the class of the AFC altogether. The Ravens' defense self-corrected after having a terrible start to the year in the secondary, and Baltimore's 54 sacks trailed only the Broncos to finish the season. And, did Cooper DeJean pick 6 Patrick Mahomes? Yeah, you get the point. The AFC South was significantly less interesting or impressive. Jacksonville and Tennessee combined for just 7 wins. At least the Titans were entertaining in their losses. Amon-Ra St. Brown's touchdown streak was very impressive, but not nearly as impressive as Will Levis's hilarious weekly meme streak. Rest in peace to the weekly Will Levis hilarious biggest turnover. Levis injured his shoulder, and the Titans never found an identity. Doug Peterson for the Jags was ultimately fired in Jacksonville, and Trevor Lawrence appeared to regress. Unlike Will Levis, when he took a hit, it was actually scary. Aziz Al-Shire nearly decapitated Trevor Lawrence on December 1st. Jacksonville did get one of the biggest steals in the draft, though, with wide receiver Brian Thomas, who cranked out 10 touchdowns and had 1,200 receiving yards, emerging as a true number one wideout, while Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram battled through injuries. In a way, though, it was like the Jacksonville Jaguars won the Super Bowl, when Jacksonville was caught making out with Kay Adams.
Jacksonville Jaguars. Where am I looking over here? Okay.
That's the moment I learned I could, in fact, be jealous of a furry. The Colts were stuck trying to get anything out of Anthony Richardson. Richardson did this crazy thing where he completed a few of the hardest throws of all of 2024, but whipped on swing passes. Just 8 touchdowns, 12 picks, and a 47.7 completion rate. The last rate that low I remember is Tim Tebow with 46 in 2011.
I missed the mark.
Richardson was also injured more than not, and Pat McAfee went nuclear on the organization on his show.
Wait a minute. I've never seen that before in my life out of a quarterback.
Man, it's hard. I ain't gonna lie. That was a lot of running right there, but I did.
An NFL quarterback doesn't tap out of the game, especially if they're able to go play. That's kind of a part of the position.
I don't think I was gonna be able to go that next play, so I just, so I was saying I just needed a break right there.
And I think what it does is it makes people think, like, get this guy the fuck off of our team.
The Colts. They might have pulled out another win had Jonathan Taylor held on to the football a millisecond longer crossing the end zone, but he didn't. He fumbled. And the rival Texans fumbled their way atop the division at 10-7 after a porous O-line let C.J. Stroud take a beating all year long. Newly acquired receiver Stephon Diggs tore his ACL Week 8. Tank Dell suffered one of the more horrific-looking leg injuries in a crucial December game against the Chiefs. He dislocated his kneecap and tore his ACL and damaged his MCL, LCL, and meniscus, his whole knee. It felt like the Texans never recovered from that moment emotionally, but what I choose to remember is Tank caught that ball for the touchdown. Tank caught that fucking ball. Tank caught that fucking ball. Tank caught that fucking ball. That's what we need to remember. The only other AFC division with 3 other losing teams was the East. Pats lost 13 games, and the Dolphins couldn't recover from a couple of Tua injuries. We dropped a full Dolphins video a week ago, and I'd watch that to get more on Miami because everything went wrong for them. One of the biggest dumpster fires in the NFL was the Jets, Jets. After losing Aaron Rodgers in the beginning moments of 2023, Rodgers looked physically healthy, put up solid numbers in 2024, but even a mid-season Devontae Adams trade, which had one of the lamest reveals of all time, couldn't right the sinking ship that cost Robert Saleh his job after 5 games in 2024. I think we all knew the Jets were toast when we saw Aaron Rodgers give Robert Saleh that death stare. It also didn't help when rookie wide receiver Malachi Corley pulled a Deshaun Jackson and fumbled the ball through the end zone on a Thursday night game against the Texans. For the 14th straight season, the Jets failed to qualify for the playoffs. The other New York team, the Giants, didn't fare much better. After letting Saquon Barkley walk in free agency, the Giants cut Daniel Jones after 10 games, and their only saving grace was rookie wideout Malik Neighbors, who managed to put up 1,200 yards catching passes from Jones, Drew Lock, and Tommy Cutlets. Tim Boyle threw a touchdown somewhere in there as well. The Giants infamously cost themselves the number 1 overall pick in the draft when they inexplicably defeated the Colts 45-33 in Week 17.
That's a funny stat.
Although it feels like it might work out with
Pick
Jackson
out kids from 5 different.
and their similarity to the 2023 Texans with Stroud and Will Anderson will be watched closely. Was that a blessing in disguise? Maybe. The G-Men even lost a bizarre 14-11 game to the Saints, a team that came out of the gates red hot. I've never seen a team start as hot as the Saints and go as there as well. The Giants catching passes from Jones, Drew Lock, and Tommy Cutlets. Tim
Four
Boyle.
different people.
Yes, Tim Boyle threw a touchdown
That's
somewhere. The Giants
the most
infamously
impressive
cost
fucking
themselves
stat
the
of the
number
year.
one overall pick in the draft when they
That lets you know Neighbors is good.
45-33 in Week 17. Although it feels like it might work out
Man.
with Jackson Dart and Abdul Carter, and their similarity to the 2023 Texans with Stroud and Will Anderson will be watched closely. Was that a blessing in disguise? Maybe. The G-Men even lost a bizarre 14-11 game to the Saints, a team that came out of the gates red hot. I've never seen a team start as hot as the Saints and go as ice cold as quickly as they did. Derek Carr led New Orleans offense to 91 points in its first two games, but their injury list grew to the size of a phone book, and they called upon Spencer Rattler and Jake Hayner at quarterback. Those two combined for an 0-7 record under the ousted head coach Dennis Allen and a fiery interim option named Darren Rizzi. Darren Rizzi earned all of our undying loyalty when he admitted he clogged the toilet prior to getting his first win as interim head coach.
So here I am early in the morning, I go to the bathroom, and this is how my day started. I clogged the toilet. And I'm like, this is going to be a crappy day, pun intended.
The Riz is now in Denver as their special teams coach. The Broncos have been working on a $175 million expansion at their team training facility, presumably to upgrade the pipes, to make sure that the pipes are big enough to handle Rizzi's giant shits.
And so he sprayed water, and I ripped his ass, quite frankly.
That's what I'm choosing
What in
to
the
believe,
fuck?
and so should you. Now, there was one team that wasn't taking any shit in the NFC South, and that was the Orlando Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield threw for 4,500 yards and 41 touchdowns, leading the fourth best scoring offense to 10 wins. Got Mike Evans another 1,000-yard season and even survived a horrific Chris Godwin injury. The Bucs also found a gem at running back in the fourth round. Bucky Irving averaged 5.5 per carry, combined for 1,500 yards from scrimmage, giving the Bucs much-needed rushing attack for the first time.
Bruh, he fumbled it.
After a 1-7 start to the year, it looked like Bryce Young, the former first overall pick, had cemented his status as a massive superstar. When he got benched for quarterback Andy Dalton, it was a massive story. Dalton started 5 games, winning his first and then losing 4 games. Letting Bryce Young pre-snap was a great move for Carolina, and it was actually a car wreck that opened the door back up for Young. Dalton sprained his thumb in a car accident, and Bryce got his chance again. Something began to click halfway through the year for the Panthers, and Bryce finished 3-4 with a 13-touchdown and 4-pick stretch in his final 9 games. And Cooper DeJean, he did it. He picked 6.
Brandon Perna.
The 2024 Raiders never quite saw things click at the most important position in football.
What
We'll
the
never
fuck?
understand how the Raiders beat Baltimore in Week 2, but they fell down to earth under Gardner Minshew. The Raiders. I told you that. Aiden O'Connell and Desmond Ray. Like Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas, rookie tight end Brock Bowers flourished. The bottom-tier quarterback situation, passing 112 receptions for nearly 1,200 yards. Bowers finished second in Offensive Rookie of the Year voting. When I think about how good Bowers and Neighbors were in bad situations, I'd like to ask the NFL to add another award to the NFL honors. Best offensive player and best defensive player in absolute shit situations. The trophy they can get on stage could be molded in the likeness of the giant shit Rizzy dropped in that New Orleans toilet. Las Vegas, though, bookend the season with losses to the
That's so
Chargers,
stupid.
ultimately fired head coach Antonio Pierce. The Chargers, they were in year 1 with their new head coach and rememberer of his own birth, Jim Harbaugh. Yeah. LA boasted the league's best scoring defense and reminded us all of one of the rarest plays, the fair catch kick rule. This one by Cameron Dicker happens to be the longest one ever made. Running back J.K. Dobbins returned to form, and despite a solid rebound effort from receiver Quentin Johnston,
Damn, to that motherfucker able to get that, dude.
went for over 1,100 yards. And it was also a miracle that quarterback Justin Herbert survived this season. After Jim Harbaugh was seen physically abusing him before each game, Herbert's stats don't really jump off the page, but he had his best touchdown to interception
23 and 3.
TDs with 3 picks, and his highest passer rating at 101. The Chargers were running a less stupid team, and that was a big leap forward for them. On the opposite end of the defensive spectrum were the Dallas Cowboys, who, despite getting 12 sacks from Micah Parsons, finished 31st in scoring. It didn't help that they got as many starts at quarterback from Cooper Rush as Dak Prescott, and a 38-point beating at the hands of the Lions.
Oh my God.
Put an end to a promising 3-2
Oh my, get the fuck out of here. Why did he not throw it up?
Well, they lost those 2 games by a combined score of 75-13. But they shouldn't feel too bad. The Eagles were putting a hurt on a lot of teams. The Eagles being competitive was not a surprise, but how dominant they were was. Their team changed when they signed running back Saquon Barkley in the offseason. Allowed to walk very publicly in the offseason thanks to the first and last ever version of Hard Knocks offseason. Saquon joined the rival Eagles.
The right thing to do is let you test the market and see what your value is. Is it in the division? I'm trying to prepare myself mentally for what's going to happen. That's all.
And all he did was rush for 2,005 yards in 16 games, aided, of course, by a 26-carry, 255-yard game against the Rams on Sunday Night Football, and a backwards hurdle that will go down is one of the coolest plays in NFL history.
Oh, easy.
As always, Jalen Hurts didn't wow anyone with his passing numbers, but he scored 14 touchdowns on the ground, 11 of which came from a yard out via the pushing of his tushing. And despite my repeated efforts, calling that play the anal advance never really caught on.
So nice.
And Philly was dominating without their future Hall of Fame center, Jason Kelsey, who retired to be a podcaster and a Jeff Bezos employee. Maybe one of the best moves of the entire 2024 offseason was Philly signing.
Come on, man. He ain't even making fumble. You're a 90 fucking suck. God damn.
His paws into that Eagles D and reset it. But the big changes over there were the additions of rookie corners for DeJean and Quinion Mitchell, plus a breakout season at inside linebacker from Long. Jalen Carter also became one of the most dominant interior defenders in his sophomore season, generating 53 pressures. But hold on, I can't skip over the fact that we have a white corner in the NFL now.
It's something you dream about.
We actually have 2. In fact, it was Broncos corner Riley Moss who nabbed the first white guy pick since Jason Sehorn when he snagged an interception against the Raiders. And now that I've covered the most important development of 2024, let's get to the playoffs.
The playoff picture is now starting to emerge.
The Texans were 3-point home underdogs. They hosted the LA Chargers to kick off the postseason. They won 32-12, probably because they managed to pick off Justin Herbert 4 times, one more than he had in the entire regular season. The Chargers' absolute implosion in that game should get talked about more, especially since we know how flawed the Texans were heading into the playoffs. Jim Harbaugh came off of a national championship at Michigan, and in his first playoff game back in the NFL was diced up by former Ohio State QB DJ Stroud.
Herbert told him the bucket and juggled. Looked like he dropped it.
Later that night, danger, hustle, Wilson turned into a pumpkin in Baltimore, and Derrick Henry tied Terrell Davis with the most postseason games with at least 150 rushing yards in the 28-14 Ravens victory over the hated Steelers.
Who did he smack in the face?
Terrell Davis with the most postseason games with at least 150 rushing yards in the 28-14
Mika. Mika, damn.
That game, I think, more than anything, solidified the fact that the
He
Steelers
should have been flying at his knees, man.
the NFL Russell Wilson. Hello, Aaron Rodgers. That'll fix it, right? Right, Pittsburgh?
Yes, but fine. Travis.
Bo Nix down. Troy Franklin to give the Broncos a shocking 7-0 lead in Buffalo, but the Bills responded with 31 straight points and put Denver's turnaround season to a swift end in the wild card round. It's the best I have ever felt, and ever will feel, about a complete ass kicking in the playoffs. God bless Bo Nix and God bless Josh Allen. I would marry both of you if that sort of thing was legal. Let football fans marry their favorite quarterbacks, is what I say. A.J. Brown was caught bleeding on the sideline against the Packers, but Jordan Love didn't look like he could read anything from the Eagles defense, throwing 3 picks in a 22-10 loss at Philly. Barkley turned out a very quiet 119 rushing yards in that win as well.
Stiff arm. Look at his face. Stiff arm. 2 of them.
The second
Ooh, number 3 didn't intercept that. Oh.
Jaden Daniels got his first shot in the playoffs against Tampa Bay, set up Zane Gonzalez for a doink that sent them to the divisional round. That's what Jaden did all year long, though. He closed out games. He's probably the most fun rookie quarterback I have ever watched. 5 comeback wins in the regular season. He was 40 of 59 for 551 yards, 6 TDs, and 2 picks when tied or trailing by 1 score in the fourth quarter. And the big stage of the playoffs was no different for him. Conversely, the brighter the lights got, the more Sam Darnold regressed to his old self. Sam's season peaked after defeating the Packers Week 17, where he was celebrated by his teammates in the locker room like a king. It was one of the best moments of the 2024 season, honestly, and then nothing went right for the Vikings after. Week 18, a battle for the NFC North. They lost to
I didn't
Detroit,
hold it.
and a
Tap
week
that one.
later at the Rams, it got even worse, taking 9 sacks and leading the Vikings offense to just 9 points in an LA loss, one that was played in Arizona. The Vikings had 4 total losses in 2024, all to the Lions and Rams. They essentially had to face their kryptonite to conclude the season, and the way Jared Verse flew at them, it looked like their kryptonite was simplicity. The 2 bye teams entered the fold in the divisional round. The Chiefs played classic Kansas City football and did just enough to keep their win against the Texans uninteresting. The play of the game, a diving Mahomes pass to Travis Kelce in the end zone, reminding all of us that even after a lackluster regular season, number 15 was still indeed capable of superhuman plays at quarterback. The Texans probably overachieved to even be in the divisional round, and let's be honest, they were never going to win that game no matter what they did.
I don't see helmets down at all. Big time penalty. Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Defense number 39.
Hours later, the commies in London.
Are there times when you would love to have another address or phone number to use instead of your home address? And
I don't see helmets down at all.
Dang.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Defense number 35.
Hours later, the commies and Lions combined for 76 fucking points in Detroit. The only problem for the Lions were 3 touchdowns in a 5-minute span by the Commanders and 4 interceptions, 3 by Jared Goff and another from Jameson Williams. Jaden Daniels continued his incredible run. He put up 123 passer rating and didn't take a sack on the road in the playoffs, while rookie corner Mike Sainristil led the Commanders' defense with a pair of picks. After the best regular season in Detroit history, they were one and done in the playoffs. In a winter wonderland, the Eagles withstood a furious last-second comeback by the Rams, but a 78-yard touchdown run by Saquon Barkley got them past LA and back to the NFC title game. Jared Verse called Eagles fans annoying.
Listen, that motherfucker is at 95 speed. There is no fucking way he gets around him.
Saquon's 205 yards, 146 yards on 2 carries. That was the real thorn in his side. The Rams gave the Eagles
Fullback got
a hell of a
inside.
fight. They had represented LA well.
Come on, my lord.
Palisades fire, but they were going home. That night, we got what was dubbed showdown of the season. Bills,
What?
Ravens. Once
Why
again,
is
Bills
Doss
scored their
out
first
there
touchdown
again?
from
God
the
damn
James,
it.
but DeMar Hamlin forced a Lamar Jackson
Ross out
fumble.
again.
Von
Fuck,
Miller
man.
scooped, nearly scored, took the ball back
I
39
got that
yards.
slow
The other
goddamn
way,
player in
Seattle
there
and
and
Buffalo
shit.
for a TD. The Ravens needed a score to
Give
send
a
the
fuck
game
what
to
his rating
overtime.
is.
After an 8-play drive, they got it via Lamar Jackson and Isaiah Likely with a
Oh
tying
my
two-point
god.
conversion. Went off the hands of their normally reliable tight end Mark Andrews, and another spectacular Ravens season failed to result in a trip to the Super Bowl. Meanwhile, Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes were set to face each other for a fourth time in the postseason in 5 years.
One more game. One more game.
Yet again, it was neck and neck. Buffalo erased an 11-point deficit with a Matt Hollins touchdown and a James Cook score to take a 1-point lead in the third quarter. The tush-push worked for the Eagles, but a failed quarterback sneak in a questionable spot led to a squandered lead by Buffalo.
It's on the Jumbotron, that angle where it sure does look like I crossed. I was like, they're calling this a first down. There's no way they can.
Mahomes responded with a rushing touchdown and an incomplete Josh Allen pass to Dalton Kincaid sealed the Bills' fate once again. Mahomes iced the game with the pass to Samaje Perine, and the hearts of Bills Mafia once again broke in prayer. 1 week later in Philly,
We sold our ass. We got one more. We sold our ass.
Washington used 18 plays to score the first 3 points of the NFC Championship game. The Eagles needed just one for a touchdown. At halftime, the game was within 12 points, but Philly proceeded to drop 55 on the Commanders.
We sold our ass.
And it got so bad for Washington that Frankie Luvu's pre-snap antics almost got the Eagles a free touchdown. For the second time in 3 years, the Eagles were returning to the Super Bowl.
Oh, put that belt my ass.
That spelled the end of a storybook season for Washington, changed their fortunes and their ceiling with new ownership and second overall
Wow.
pick Will Smith.
If no clear winner emerges from all this, the two-man stack race will be held on consecutive Sundays until a champion is crowned.
Kansas City is now 1 game away from a three-peat, something that has never happened in the Super Bowl era. Their opponent, a team they would topple 2 years prior in AZ. Most NFL fans were not eager to see a repeat of a game from 2 years ago. Most people outside of Pennsylvania and Missouri would have loved to see a Buffalo-Washington big game, but that was not to be. That game from 2 years prior ended anticlimactically. A holding call on James Bradbury set up a game-winning field goal from Harrison Butker after one of the best back-and-forth Super Bowls in recent memory. But this time in the Big Easy, it looked easy for Philadelphia. The Chiefs may have held birthday boy Saquon Barkley to just 57 rushing yards, but Jalen Hurts combined for a trio of touchdowns. The game went from bad to worse for the Chiefs when fellow birthday boy Cooper DeJean, he picked off his first pass in the NFL and snuck it past the pylon for a touchdown, giving the Eagles a 17-0 lead in the second quarter. What really sealed it, though, was a 46-yard dime from Hurts to Devontae Smith in the end zone. At that point, the game was 34-0. 34-0. Mahomes threw 3 touchdowns to make the score look a little more respectable, but we all knew they got fucking pounded. They got pounded, those fucking Chiefs. Suck, you jackass. So much so that all we remember is Kenny Pickett was taking snaps at the end of the game. Jalen Hurts was declared Super Bowl MVP. The Eagles finished a postseason with 95 points in their last 2 games, and they kept Kansas City from reaching the status of football immortality. And for that, I think we can all thank them. Thank you, Billy. And on to 2025 we go. Thanks for watching That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here. Remember, trying to get to 775,000 subs before the season starts. Don't forget to sign up for Prize Picks with my code TJS.
It's coming out
Little
September.
September's coming, and you know what
what that means? Yep.
Yup.
Pumpkin spice everywhere. Kids are going back to school, and of course the gaming industry says, "You thought your wallet was safe? Oh, no. We got a whole bunch of stuff coming up in the month of September. Orbital city called Mobius. It was once humanity's shining beacon. It is now a glittering death trap. You are a hyper-unit android. You're tasked with rescuing human consciousness, or cores, I guess. I don't really know. I guess humanity is stored in limited edition data backups now. It's basically Doom 2016 meets Ghost Runner, sprinkled with hardcore that's got a little bit of that Mirror's Edge flavor, albeit you have the ability to get much more violent. You dash, you grapple, you wall run, you transform into an armored Ramball. Little nod to Metroid there. This was originally going to come out back in May, but it got delayed to September 2nd, and we'll be playing Metal Eden when it lands on PS5, Xbox Series, and PC that day. And number 9 is Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. As you know, the Sonic Kart Racing franchise kind of gets overlooked when we're talking about like Mario Kart and stuff, but it's always really been a joy whenever a new Sonic Kart Racer comes out. This one is more of a multiverse-oriented version of it. Sonic hasn't gone full open world with his racing yet, but you have one of the main Cross Worlds.
Damn, I see you could have caught that, bro.
Travel rings mid-race, which changes up each lap as they come. There's 24 tracks. There's a roster that's apparently going to have more than 50 characters eventually. I don't know if it starts with that or what, but it's a 12-player multiplayer mode.
It's crazy,
Also,
Max.
multiple split screen, which is great. As Sega is bringing us characters from various different franchises beyond just Sonic. So you got Joker from Persona 5, Kasuga from Yakuza, Minecraft, Miku, Pac-Man, SpongeBob, Avatar. I mean, it looks absolutely enjoyable. Sonic Racing Cross Worlds is coming to the PlayStation, the Xboxes, Switch, and PC September 25th. Hey, statistically speaking, you're watching this and you're not subscribed, which is absolutely crazy. If you like watching Game Rings videos, the best way to see them every single day is to subscribe and enable notifications. So please do that. It helps us out. In addition, it makes it easier to sift through our everlasting barrage of content. Thanks to everybody who has subscribed. Let's continue.
Oh my god, fool. What the fuck?
It's Hell Is Us. This isn't a
Hell is
run-of-the-mill
us?
action adventure. You're an UN peacekeeper who skipped town, going AWOL. You know, you're hunting for your parents in a war-torn country, only to discover that the place
What are you doing?
This game goes full.
How are you not seeing the ball, man? Like, that's fucking stupid, bro.
Just environmental cues, weird NPC nonsense, all out chattering. You just kind of have to old school Zelda your way through a bunch of grotesque monsters and existential dread. And in a lot of ways, it is kind of like a cyberpunk Zelda, but not set in a cyberpunk city. A lot of Resident Evil going on here too. It's a weird looking game, but in a lot of ways, it's a very cool looking game. There is a demo that is available now. I actually haven't gotten to it yet, but it's one of those ones where I'm definitely going to play it before the actual game comes out, which it is coming out very soon on PS5, Xbox Series, and PC, September 24th. And number 7, it's NBA 2K26. Yep, the annual ritual of pouring hundreds of virtual VC into dubious microtransactions returns. So what's supposed to be new here? So there's this thing where they're using this tech they're calling co-play to map actual NBA footage onto gameplay to make things look more realistic. I'm not really sure how that plays out. Like, I'll say this, in certain ways it looks more realistic, but in certain ways it looks more rigid and weird. I don't know. I don't want to crap all over it because obviously there's a reason why these come out every year and they sell well and like play them because there is like good action in these games. It's just, I mean, you play it every year and you end up feeling a lot like they keep adding stuff that makes it worse. So that's kind of where I am with these games. We obviously are going to talk about them. It's not always going to be positive, but there's also obviously something to them. NBA 2K26 is landing on PlayStation, the Xboxes, the Switches, and PC September 5th. And number 6 is Chronos: The New Dawn. This comes to us.
No way.
folks.
Yo, literally fucking hitting the motherfucker, man.
To me, this looks kind of like a Dead Space meets Alan Wake type game. Obviously, it's got a pretty distinct European flavor because
Is
it's
this?
set in, a decaying future and 1980s Poland. You kind of jump back and forth in time traveling stuff. It's kind of one of those things where, like, we know that Bluebird can kick serious ass when they've got the resources to, and it makes me excited for what this can be. But also, we know what Bluebird is capable of on the other end, and this is a self-published title on their part. So we'll see. It looks very cool. I admit I have my hopes up for it, so fingers are crossed. Chronos the New Dawn is coming to PS5, Xbox Series, Switch 2, and PC September 25th. And number 5, it's Baby Steps, a literal walking simulator developed by, I think, what kind of an arcade movement in PC September. And number 4 is Silent Hill F, a very different and yet not that different entry into Silent Hill. Like, it's definitely got a much more rich color palette than your average Silent Hill, and it's definitely got a different setting set in 1960s Japan. But Borderlands 4, easily the most ambitious Borderlands yet. They're going for a seamless loading screen, free zone, lots of universal tools, grappling hooks, gliding, double jumping, etc. And it's set on a brand new planet called Kairos, where you're fighting against a dictator called the so-called Timekeeper and his synthetic army. I mean, it's going to be Borderlands. That's the one thing that I think is kind of important to understand here. That stuff doesn't necessarily sound like Borderlands. It's going to be Borderlands. When you boot this up, you look at it, it looks like Borderlands. There is humor. Hopefully the humor ends up being, as they have said, better than the third entry of the series. I mean, honestly, the Telltale Borderlands is still probably the best in terms of storytelling and not being annoying. If they can approach that area in terms of tone and content and give us the kind of gameplay it looks like they're going to give us here, this could be a very good, maybe even the best Borderlands. And it seems like that's what they're going for. So my fingers, again, very crossed on this one. Borderlands 4 is landing on PS5, Xbox Series, and PC September 12th. And number 2, it's Dying Light, the Beast. If you recall, this game was supposed to come out 4 weeks earlier. They gave it a little bit of a delay for some extra polish. You are now back on the original protagonist of Dying Light, Kyle Crane's shoes. He has been experimented on, and he has been infused with zombie stuff, so that there is now a werehog mechanic. I've course referred to it as that because I think that referring to Sonic Unleashed is very funny to do when talking about Dying Light the Beast. But this is a very rural-looking game, a little different from the urban jungles we have seen in the past. Kind of a Twin Peaksy-looking vibe in a weird way. The parkour does remain essential, though, which is, I mean, it's kind of a given. It's one of the things that makes Dying Light Dying Light. But it looks like it brings a lot of brutality to the equation that wasn't necessarily there before. It looks good to me. Like you got the environmental chaos, you got the visceral melee, you got stealth. Looks like they're trying to go hard with the night stuff. I like that. That's the thing that we all want from Dying Light. Yes, apparently there is 4-player co-op. It looks great. Honestly, I think we're in for a good one here. Dying Light the Beast is coming to the PlayStation, the Xboxes, and PC September 19th. And finally, at number 1, I will believe it when I am playing it, but Hollow Knight Silk Song is finally dancing onto our screens, and everything looks freaking crazy. Like, Hollow Knight is, of course, a classic Metroidvania. It's kind of the one that told us, you know what, absolutely everything can be done in a Metroidvania, and you should expect everything. We have a much more nimble character than the first time out, in a completely different kingdom called Farland, with over 165 unique enemies, 100 save point benches, a quest system, and allegedly, for you that I would like to mention, EA Sports FC 26 basically looks like they're attempting to make this a more precision game, making it feel a little crisper, a little more serious, I guess. There's also a facelift for Ultimate Team if that's your thing. EA Sports FC 26 is coming to the PlayStation, the Xbox, Switches, and PC September 26th. Next is Indiana Jones and the Great Circle has DLC coming out called Order of the Giants. This one's a super interesting one. It drops into the Rome Shadow Catacombs, as well as the Colosseum ruins.
sewer system. Crazy Roman stuff, you know? There's cultists, there's lore about giants, etc. Some crazy crap. And that's landing on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series on September 4th. Next is Hiragami. Origami meets platforming, basically. It is, I mean, exactly what it sounds like, a 3D platformer inspired by traditional Japanese paper folding. There's a shapeshift mechanic. You have to, use different things to get past different stuff. Honestly, it looks like a fun platformer. It's got a different look to it. Definitely a satisfying look. Could be one of those things with really great sound effects. In fact, that's what it better be.
Good game, though.
Origami's coming to PC and PS5 on September 3rd. Next is NBA Bounce, which is a family-friendly NBA goofy, weird-looking game. You got all 30 official NBA mascots. You got custom avatars. And hey, if you like playing basketball games and you like playing with kids, or if you are a kid, looks like it could be fun. That's landing on the PlayStation, the Xbox Series, Switches, and the PC September 26th. And then the big bonus game I got for you right here. It's Final Fantasy Tactics, the Iblis Chronicles. This is kind of one I've been keeping my eye on. I love Final Fantasy Tactics. Although I really haven't played it since it was originally out on PlayStation. Going back to it is, it's never really been great. But now we've got not only a revamp in terms of polish, some UI stuff, etc., but if it ends up not being what you like, you can go right back to the 1990s version and play it. It's right there. I like that you get both. With games like this, I feel like that's how the remasters should go. Final Fantasy Tactics: The Iblis Chronicles is landing on the PlayStations, the Switches, and PC September 30th. That's all for today. Leave some comment. Let us know what you think. If you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We got a whole bunch of stuff coming up in the month of September. Hi, folks, it's Falcon. Today on Game Ranks, the top 10 new games we'll be talking about in September 2025. Starting off with number 10, it is Metal Eden. Raycon Games, the mad scientist behind Ruiner, they've got a sequel that is just full-ass dystopian craziness. Metal Eden. Subtlety is overrated.
Unless that quarterback.
They're dropping you in a
Look at this shit. Surprised they ain't ranked ahead of me. He ain't coming. Damn, I can't believe I'm losing these motherfuckers, man. Man, what? Not that one. Goddamn. Texas. New DJs.